930J
Yeah,
is a being from current J.
I'm sure.
So that's like J's problem in the future.
Alrighty. I'm gonna pull up my doc sheet. I'm also gonna tell Twitter.
Yes, tell Twitter.
Twitter.
Tell Twitter with our fun new logo.
I do love the logo.
I love the logo so much.
Did y'all see? Jake's seen it, but I sent the zip of all the different all the different fucking variations he did. I was just like, okay, Alex, like, as my good friend, I would like to commission you for one logo and one banner, and then he sends me a folder with 6 different variations.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
There we are.
Now all of Twitter knows.
Now all of Twitter knows you're gay.
Everyone retweet. Go, go, go.
Right.
Now all of Twitter knows you're gay. I don't know why that. Why does that get me?
My most unfunny fucking joke ever, and this is what I get. Thank you for
One
asking.
second, I gotta actually edit this now.
Edit what?
Now all of Twitter knows you're gay.
God.
Alright, so you all enter into Alibay after pushing past Telthanos once Caspian has thrown himself at him, essentially, knocking him out of your path. You rush down the cobblestone roads, all now bathed in this bright lilac fog. Above you, you can see Rivaria towering above the city, her vines kind of snaking down from bushes around her throat, taking purchase around the buildings and streets. And as you travel further into the city, between like these two large matching palaces, you're met with the sight of Ruth standing on a large white bridge that connects these two buildings in front of you. She watches you with very intense eyes as you all come to stop before her, and she kind of bores down at you silently.
Not to be, want to overstate the situation, Ruth, but,
What the fuck is going on here?
having a bit of a crisis.
Oh my god.
We need passage immediately.
Ruth kind of, she doesn't really say much to you all, but she kind of like looks at you, kind of takes you all in, and she takes a deep breath and she goes, well, I see that you've all decided to come back here then.
It is sort of my, hometown, so yes.
Your hometown.
Yeah, I was born here.
And yet you left, ran, fled, and you had no intention of coming back.
To be entirely fair to myself, I was not in exactly the greatest state of mind.
And yet you're still not known for your braveries these days, are you, little kit? And as Ruth says this, she kind of like pulls her hand kind of over her face and through her hair, and the disguise drops, and Sophia stands on the bench before you.
I knew it!
Oh!
Oh my god! I will.
Well, that explains a lot more than I thought it would.
She simply gives a very slight sigh and looks at you, Micah. But as her gaze kind of falls upon you all again, she stares at you, Delphina. And she tilts her head and she goes, oh, Delilah, still roaming about with these vermin. Gran would be so disappointed in you.
Still desperate to get someone's approval, I see. It's Delphina.
Delphina. Well, I suppose you always were her favorite. Always able to get away with your... She kind of like sucks the breath in between her teeth and like eyes you up and down antics, as it were.
Why are you doing this, Sophia? What could you gain from this, conniving bitch?
What could
Even if you had
gain?
hoped to take the city, it isn't like much is going to be left standing.
Oh,
All this continues.
oh, I don't want the city. The city means nothing to me. In fact, the city is what I'm trading for all of this.
Ah, fuck.
You see, gods are very simple in their sacrifices, as it were. Really, all that matters is that they're hungry, and they need something to sate that.
So you throw 1 million lives away, just so you can, what, fulfill your means?
Of course I would.
Right. Right.
Did you expect something else? Did you expect to
this-
come here and stand before me and think that I had any other greater means than that?
No, this does kind of track with what I know of you.
Of course. Cousin, you know, I would love to sit here and squabble with your little friends, but I feel as though there's really nothing you can do here.
I don't believe that's correct. I will, out of the kindness of my heart, and because you are my cousin, give you a chance to make this right and repent and beg your forgiveness before I take your head.
I think it's a bit too late for something like that, and, well, you won't even, it's not even just me that you'll have to get through at this point. And she kind of like shrugs and gestures up at the gigantic god standing above her.
Alpina, I don't think she would want forgiveness even if you offered it.
Might as well just take her head.
And I, for one, am more than happy with that solution, actually, since she's sort of barring up.
Pikes identical toy.
It's all coming together.
Literally,
It's all coming together like a quilt.
everything
like a
is
quilt.
unwinding.
But yes, Sophia, wonderful to see you again. For ages, you know, sort of did, really, really great to see you after the whole, you know, you slaughtering my family thing, but, you know, we do have sort of a thing that we're supposed to be doing, and you're sort of, standing in our way. So, if you could, you know, just, and he makes like a little gesture with his hands, like scooch away back just a little bit, you know, because like obviously like fighting you is going to be like sort of, annoying. And also you wouldn't want to chip your nails, would you? So.
Micah. Sophia looks at you from the giant bridge she's standing that is like above you guys and where you have like clear view of being able to get underneath her as established a bridge does. She gestures with her head and she goes, "By all means, feel free. Don't let me stop you."
Alright, can't wait to kill you later. See you around. And he flips her off.
As you guys kind of like cross underneath the bridge, she kind of vanishes into like this puff of smoke. But the winding path of the Twisting City seems to lead along a very similar path to all of you. Micah, particularly. You have walked this path many times coming home from long nights out with Asta. And before too long, as you descend, the silhouette of your family's home looms before you. Its sight even less warm than it had been since the last time you saw it. There's a deep dread that kind of like sinks into your bones as it comes into view. The once well-tended lawn is filled with purple fog, and the blooming flower beds are spilling over with the same royal blue flowers that you guys have been seeing all over the city.
Do correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't we heading in the opposite direction? Towards the castle and all that?
And that's what Asta would be, right?
Yeah, why are we here?
As though to answer that question a bit, you can kind of see that, like, the walls, the city has changed significantly, and is kind of, like, warped, almost as if someone's trying to fuck with you.
I wonder who.
Wow, big mystery. You guys are almost, kind of, like, boxed in, like a couple of cattle, in a little maze of sorts. I'm back at it again with the maze.
You're such a fucking cowboy. Couple cattle.
Y'all are off to the cattle drive on your way to gay trauma.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Wonderful. This is just great. Now, oh dear. I don't want to go in there, not going to lie to you two. All of you.
If Percy were to turn around and look where they came from, is the way back still there, or is that now
Nope.
gone?
There's a giant wall there.
Wonderful.
Go with if you need. I can go in first.
We have no choice but to go forward. Whether we go, whoever goes first, it doesn't matter, but we have to go forward.
Well, it is my house, so... And Micah will very, like, visibly with a tremor in his hands, like, go forward.
Micah, you step past the garden of your home, once again, up to the front door. And this beautiful wooden door has an inscription, messily carved deep into the oak. And it reads as follows. Mother is slicing figs in the kitchen. Father is dreaming quietly in bed. Brother reads tales of things best forgotten. And sister is in the garden, speaking gently with the dead. And as you finish reading it, the door kind of like swings open into the dark kind of entry room of your home.
Can I get that written down, please?
Yes, you can. Just a minute.
Thank you. I would not remember.
Yeah, 1 second. I always mean to copy paste it into Discord, and I always forget. 1 second.
I appreciate it so much because I have a single fucking brain cell.
No, you're good. I'll put it in voice text in a second.
Okay.
Perfect.
Micah kind of looks at the inscription. He says, wow, very convenient that that matches all my family members.
Hmm.
It's probably on purpose, given what we know about, well, what we've experienced before.
Yes. Great. Wonderful. All right. Well, yes.
Wanda will squeeze Micah's arm.
Micah, kind of like, brings his hand up over Waters, thankfully, and, just walks into the house. He kind of mentions, well, I don't know why, but, obviously that has some significance, so.
Delphina will give Micah kind of like a grim look of like just understanding almost. Not so much of a look of sympathy, but like shit sucks, bro.
Yeah.
Kind of look.
Right, well, in all honesty, I think we might
It's rough.
start with, the easiest one would be Ilaros. Usori's in the library.
Can I roll like would it be insight for like what's in the house? Like,
I'm so glad you asked.
has it? Yeah, I was gonna say, has it been ransacked? Like, is it an like, what's going on?
If you made a map of the weird ass house layout that I sent you, I'm gonna scream.
Wait, I have. It's probably a little bit too. It's been probably a little bit too. I made something akin to it. Hang on. All right, so you guys enter into the house, and as you do, they're sitting in 4 chairs. Are 4 life-sized ball joint puppets that are very close replications of your family, Micah.
Micah turns around and looks outside and fully faces away from them.
They sit slumped in these chairs, like cold corpses placed and waiting for your arrival. That being said, the brief glance that you got before you turned around, the house itself looks much like it did before your family passed away. Everything kind of placed back where it was. It no longer looks like it was looted and bare. Neat and tidy, full of love.
Now, I do have a wonderful, horrible, creeping thought that we might have to place those where that inscription had them.
That sounds
makes sense.
accurate, yeah.
Percy's like over by the puppets, kind of like giving them a closer look.
Delphine is going to join him and check those puppets out. Kind of
Micah's
poke
willing
them a little
himself
bit.
to turn around.
Roll me an investigation.
Hoopst.
Whoever wants to take a peek at the dolls.
Oh, hell yeah!
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ!
Don't
Let's
pick
go!
Girl boss era.
Delphina.
Percy, honestly, both of your investigations kind of meet this, but particularly Delphina's. The 2 of you kind of give these dolls a really good once over, and though you have never met any of these people, you notice that there is a stunning amount of detail in them. They're carved from a very thick, heavy oak. They're very well made, very intricately detailed. But it seems that when you kind of try to move them, the quote-unquote mother and father move very easily, but it seems that the brother and sister are locked into place. And when you kind of look at their chests, you can see that the sister puppet has a little a little hole in her chest in the shape of a sun, and the brother puppet has a little hole in the shape of a moon, and it looks like things may possibly go into these spaces.
So,
We might have to move the... I'm presuming your mother and father first.
Alright, we can do that.
I can carry them if you need.
Their bedroom was upstairs in the kitchen, so over in the west wing, so it'll be easier to go there first. On the first
Percy.
floor.
you see these holes, right? Like,
Yeah, I see the holes.
Holes?
Those sun and moon holes. My theory is maybe they'll be found. Whatever we need to put in might be found in where we're supposed to put your mother and father.
Micah, where's your brother's room?
Upstairs. It was sort of sandwiched in between mine and Kyra's. Though further away. Okay. So any... This is going to take some explanation. I think my mother's puppet must go down here, obviously, but Ilrus, the library that he very frequently spent time in for other reasons, is here on the first floor, directly to our left, actually. But up on the second floor, the master suite is, you have to go up the stairs. And that's to the left, and Illuris's room is upstairs to the right. This sort of, if you go past the music room, Kyra's room, and my room.
It works! Yes, it works!
Oh my god!
Victory! I'm so happy!
Me
Then-
fucking sitting in here for 2 hours making her room.
Then you'd be able to find.
Oh, I'm so fucking happy. I'm so
Hello,
glad.
sister.
Great investment. Best $30 I ever spent.
Thank you, King. Go ahead, Jay.
That was all I had.
Okay.
Okay. So we can't move either your brother or your sister. Something is keeping them bound to their spots. It looks like there's a piece missing from them, a sun and a moon, respectively.
Would Micah know what those are?
You would not, Micah. This seems to be something specifically that Talthanos has kind of like crafted himself.
Okay.
Symbolism, perhaps, but not symbolism that means anything to you specifically.
Alright. Well, it would be easier to just move my mother first.
Yeah, let's get your mom in the kitchen, and then your father upstairs, and then
Do you
Is-
like me to take her?
What?
Would you like me to take her?
Please.
Okay. Wanda will very gently pick up the mannequin.
Wander, you
Kitchen is directly to our right.
Wander, you scoop this mannequin up and up into your arms, and it kind of like clinks a little lightly as kind of its joints are moved as you kind of hold her. Are you going into the kitchen?
Yep.
As you go into the kitchen, you can see a very astute kind of like pole that Micah's puppet mother kind of like attaches to in front of a kind of like in front of a cutting board with perfectly preserved figs in front of it.
Wow. That's great. Amazing.
Can Percy look around the kitchen to see if there's any like sun or moon like things that would like fit into the puppets?
You
Here.
can indeed.
What am I
You
rolling?
want to roll investigation?
Yes.
I'm gonna join in on that.
Fuck.
Investigate, invest.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
no.
Oh boy. Oh
Oh,
boy.
no.
Oh boy.
Come on,
we
Pike.
used all of our brain cells to look at puppets.
Pike is looking so.
Pike has the one brain cell. As you guys kind of look around, Micah, Percy, and Delphina, you guys don't find much. That being said, Pike, you give this kitchen a thorough look around, but really, there doesn't seem to be much in here. It's very, very clean, very well tended to. Each surface is like pristine, barely been touched, it seems, as though a maid has been here recently. But there doesn't seem to be anything matching the sun or moon quips that the poem mentioned.
If anything, I think perhaps since they're in Ilaris and Kai's chests, then something maybe in either their room or Kai's office, or where they spent a fair deal of their time.
That seems fair. The rooms are upstairs, correct?
Yes, though Ilaris, he mostly spent a lot of time in the first floor library.
We can check out the library first then, and then we can take your father upstairs and then also check out the bedrooms if we don't find anything in the library.
Alright. That works.
Yeah, which way to the library?
It's just off the drawing room, directly to the left.
He nods and he heads towards the direction.
Wanda will put the mannequin into place.
Wander, the mannequin kind of locks into place, very simply. And there seems to be some kind of, like, strange mechanism that seems to be attached to the pole where once you do properly lock her into place, these strings and joints kind of seem to be, like, moving her arms to kind of simulate the chopping of figs.
Great, that's Wonderful. I'm going to go join Percy.
We should probably stick together in this. You
Mm.
know.
Percy's found that in the library. He was gone for like 1 second.
That would be great, actually.
As you guys make your way into the main library that's accessible to the guests in the house, large bookshelves tower up to the ceiling, stocked with thick books varying in sizes. The ceiling is decorated in like intricate paintings of constellations and galaxies, and a large telescope kind of rests on like a funky little second floor that's held up by a thin winding stair. All seems to kind of be kind of properly in place, as it was the last time that you had seen it before going out that night, Micah. There is, in fact, a pole where one could place Ilaros, kind of sat at a desk in the library, kind of attached to its own mechanism, but the library itself is kind of laid out for you guys to explore.
Can Micah, like, first check the, like, desk itself?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fuck.
Well, Micah, you don't seem to... you kind of check, and though you kind of give the desk a good once-over, it doesn't look like there's anything in here.
Percy's looking. Roll the 20.
Percy, you also investigate this library, and as you do, you're kind of like running your fingers gently along like the bookshelves. Your finger hits a particular book on the shelf, and it kind of gives like a little hollow like thump in a way that the other books did not. And you have found a false book.
He kind of like tilts his head at that, and then like pulls at it.
When you pull at this book, it slips out of place. And at first glance, looks like a really shitty, cheesy romance book that doesn't look like it belongs in here at all. But when you do open it, there is a bright blue kind of key that's cut out in a shape in this book.
He kind of like holds it up, and he's like inspecting it, and he's like looks over to Micah, and he's like, does this look familiar, or?
Yes, I don't know if anything might be in the place that goes to, honestly.
Kind of raises his eyebrows at that, like, and where does this go?
It's the second library.
Hmm.
Well, a third one, really. We have 3.
Third library.
Did he fit into the the mannequin, your brother?
I'm not sure. The mannequins, it was more of like a cutout.
No, that key wouldn't fit in. It has a very specific lock that it goes to.
You think maybe whatever could be in those libraries could possibly with a star?
Maybe. And Micah's gonna take the key, and go to where the bookshelf swings open.
Micah, you pull back another book, a little thicker this time, and it does reveal a particular keyhole that you were able to slip the key into and turn the lock, and you hear a very loud kind of creaking, turning noise, and this bookshelf very slowly begins to kind of like slide down, revealing a large vault door.
He goes through the motions, as it were.
Yeah, Micah, you kind of, as you have seen Fen do a few times, in a way that he probably didn't intend for you to be able to replicate, let's be honest.
Oh, man.
But you are, as always, a very curious child and didn't always listen to him. But you had this memorized and were very easily able to kind of open this. And as you do, the vault door itself also slides to the side, giving way to like a pair of stairs that go down.
Don't touch anything down here. Might be sensitive. And everything is old. Very old. Like, older
Typically,
than
it's
my parents' parents.
oh god. Okay.
And he will walk down the stairs in a practiced way that he's not done for a very long time.
When you guys kind of all descend down these stairs, and you see what kind of looks like a very old library kind of clashed together with kind of like a museum almost. Large glass cases hold taxidermied monsters and ancient weapons. Legendary armors are kind of rusted with age along the walls, holding large swords and shields and spears. The bookshelves are stacked high with manuscripts and encyclopedias on monsters and mythical creatures, gods and beasts alike from far and wide. A large unicorn statue near one of the bookshelves looks like it's carved out of pure glistening bone, and similar relics kind of fill the shelves and tables.
Percy just kind of gives kind of like a low whistle at seeing everything. Like,
Pike goes to pat the unicorn statue.
Oh my God.
That takes forever to clean. I should know.
Pike sitting there, like they slowly lift their hand off of like the nose, and there's just a little like slime, like kind of like strings coming off of it.
Oh my god.
Micah's gonna look around for anything that's out of place from like the last time he's seen it, and if any of this is seeming to be caused by Tathanos, I suppose.
Are you perhaps going to roll? Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, yeah, you did. Micah, you kind of sort around everything, and surprisingly, nothing looks too particularly out of place. All of the books are where they were. All of like the weapons, and shields and things kind of things look and appear to be as they were. However, as you kind of go over to the unicorn statue that Pike had been pawing at, and you kind of like are trying to like brush the slime off of its nose, you kind of like your arm kind of like moves up a little bit on accident, and you kind of like tap the horn with like your wrist, and you hear another kind of hissing, clunking noise coming from the wall, and yet again. Another bookshelf seems to kind of slowly slide out of place.
If there's another secret room that Finn never told me about.
How big is your fucking house?
Well, this is more of, the underground portion.
Still
Like I
counts,
said,
technically.
We got around a lot. And he's gonna go over to that portion of the wall.
Percy was probably like looking at like one of the books, and he's like put the book back in its place. He goes to follow Micah. He's just looking around at everything.
Alrighty. Well, you guys kind of catch the attention of the opening door, and a second secret passage has opened in the wall. Revealing a less impressive kind of bedroom-sized space inside. This room is coated in a thick layer of dust, as though it hasn't been touched in a few years. Very few things remain in here, and they're all kind of rather obviously placed upon the few tables and desks that are inside. Remains of papers, pens, inks, a few obscure maps of cities, a few books, but there are a few slightly glaring objects that kind of go as follows. A leather-bound journal with papers kind of stuffed into the front corner. The Sunstone is rested on the cover.
The Dawn
Yeah.
Sunstone?
The one that suspiciously looks as though it would fit into the puppet.
Imagine that.
A dagger with a leather handle with just a simple F etched into the blade.
Oh.
And a large black chunk of what looks to have been an antler, or part of an antler perhaps. There are bright pink runes that kind of glow in an odd pattern, not much different to a heartbeat, almost.
That's where Fen kept disappearing to.
Ben?
Right. Mentor of sorts. Sort of uncle, sort of mentor. Well, there's a sunstone. Do I?
You do not. You've never seen this thing ever before in your life.
Absolutely not. And he's gonna grab it.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna grab it?
You know what? I'm gonna.
Oh, Micah, you've grabbed it!
No.
Micah, you're just as Fen had always worried that your nosy little ass would do. You wrap your big mitts around this thing.
Big meaty claws.
Your big meaty claws around this thing, and the most excruciating pain that you have ever felt in your life fills your hand. And there's kind of like a dark blackness that kind of like fills whatever palm that is like held on to this thing. And you kind of drop it. You kind of like clutch your wrist in pain. And it kind of clunks to the floor. And the kind of pulsing kind of speeds up a bit, as though the heart rate has accelerated.
Right. Of course, never touch face shit when I'm not supposed to. God damn.
Delphina is going to investigate, not grab, investigate.
Investigate with my. I'm gonna grab it with my eyeballs.
the dagger.
The dagger is just a dagger. Like, you can like pick it up, you can twirl it around, you can hold it, this is like completely
is
safe
it?
to
Okay.
handle.
F is for female, and she grabs it.
Oh my god.
F is for Fen.
It's for female and she grabs it.
Oh my god.
I don't know why that one got me.
Listen.
She's like, finders, keepers in someone else's house.
You can very much hold on to it. I'm not really the dagger type anyway, but goodness.
You can never have enough weapons, and she's gonna just tuck it away. Yeah.
Well, just don't take any of the ones in the other room. Those are old and might curse you.
Percy
I-
kind of like... Oh, go ahead.
I have no interest in having more cursed things upon me.
Exactly, which is why I was never allowed to touch them. And Mike
And yet you did.
Yeah, well, see, here's the funny thing, Delphina, is I have not changed much from when I was a child, and I was always impulsive, and I still am.
Why does this not surprise me?
Yes, well, there's a reason Fen never told me to mess with face shit. So, you know.
There's a reason why Fen never told you about this room. My god.
Yeah, it's best to listen to him about that. He'll go look over at the journal.
Oh, I guess they're both looking at the journal.
We're both like shoulder to shoulder looking at the journal.
Mike is like, I am here too. Mike and Percy, you both investigate this hand in hand.
Brother.
Micah, you like immediately can read that this is Fen's handwriting. This is likely something he had probably intended to take with him, but in what was probably a very rushed escape from the house, likely it was just kind of forgotten in his haste. There, you kind of open it and you kind of read through it, and it's just kind of, day-to-day notes about you and your siblings, your mother, how much of a nerd he thinks your dad is, how training you is going, really mundane things. There's a couple pages of adventure, adventurous, Fae Hunter things, in the beginning of the book, but kind of after he met your mother, it all kind of descends a little bit more into, mentor-y, kind of training, domestic kind of things. But one of the entries kind of stop at a specific point, and there is a letter that is kind of tucked into the back of the book, where the blank pages are. And this letter reads, "My dearest friend, her hold on the dusk light tightens, and the edges of her veil are lifting. I fear that one day the god's magic will not be able to hold her back, and we will all be in danger. The guild is in need of your help more than ever. Godspeed, old friend." And it's signed Eris at the bottom.
While everyone is busy with the book, Wander's gonna go and try to touch that antler thing.
Oh my god. Wander, you two experience the same excruciating pain in your hand. It turns your hand a deep black color, and it kind of like snakes up through the veins in your wrist. However, when you touch it, you experience another vision, and you see a massive beast, a very similar sight that you have seen before.
Oh, no wonder.
The Fey Lord kind of like stands before you. Large, thick black antlers hanging off of her head. And she gives a loud, like, kind of metallic scream. Her jaws are open, bright purple light bleeding from the back of her throat. And you can see a Furbolg's hand tightly clenching this antler in a gloved hand. But kind of bright pink blood kind of like gushes from the antler wound. And this creature seems to be absolutely infuriated at whoever is holding this antler. And you're kind of like, the vision kind of abruptly ends, and you're kind of sucked back into the being in this room with your friends.
Yeah, I think it's about
fade, like once you drop it, or
It does.
yeah.
I think we all need to stop touching that damn antler.
It's
We
from the Fey Lord.
Oh, he actually did see her then, huh?
Pike looks around for a stick to poke the antler with.
Wait,
You saw the face.
I wonder how it would react to Percy.
Well,
I
Wouldn't like
rather
to
not.
put a lot of you, through. Wouldn't like to put all of you through pain. So.
Yeah, we know what it does already.
We should wrap it up and take it,
Sure, why not?
because it shouldn't be left for just anyone to find.
Percy's just
Yeah.
gonna grab because we're in a room, right?
Yeah.
He's just gonna
Start-
grab he could rip a thing of the blanket and just
Michael wants to see
grab.
that.
Yeah, Percy, really the only kind of blankets or things that you would be able to tear are nice, expensive curtains.
He's
that blanket costs more than your fucking life.
Yeah, that blanket, someone could buy all of your family lineage with that blanket.
Percy does not care. He takes it and he wraps the antler up.
Right. Well, it's another story if it'll have to tell me. Okay. Well, we have the sunstone.
Yes, let's find the moonstone.
Yep. Do you mind if I take just one more once over? Just to make sure that,
Take what?
So, just while we close up the room, I'd just like to do a once over and make sure everything's.
Yeah, by all means.
And Micah's gonna make sure that some of the curse shit hasn't been touched.
What kind of curse shit? What? Oh, you mean
so-
the relics in the library?
Yeah, some of the Fae shit that's in there.
Oh, yeah. Micah, all of the Fae stuff, is for the most part, kind of all looks like it hasn't been touched or messed with. There's Fae hunting, kind of spears and kind of swords that are kind of hung up on the wall. None of those look like they've been touched. There's a few fairy bones, a few fairy skulls, taxidermied fairies kind of like in certain corners of the room. Those have not been touched either.
He kind of breathes a sigh of relief at that and moves to, close up the room.
You kind of guide your friends back, kind of up towards the first floor, kind of clearing things away as you do, putting everything back, locking everything up, and the bookshelf kind of slides properly back into place. And everything, the room is just as you had left it, essentially.
Alright, should we move your father upstairs and check out your sister's room?
Right.
Yeah.
Might want to put the sunstone in Larissa's chest first, actually.
We can do that.
I thought the sunstone went to the sister.
The sun
And to
goes
Kyra.
to the boy.
Oh, okay. I think I mixed them up when I heard them.
Oh yeah, I thought the sunstone went into Kyra.
Did I finally say? Either way, I meant the moon's supposed to go to Kyra, the sun's supposed to go to Ilros.
Okay.
I might fuck
Okay,
that one up. That one might have been narrator error.
Okay.
We can move Ilros then.
Micah, just very gently slots the sunstone into Iloros's chest.
You hear a loud, kind of click, and Ilros kind of falls forward in his chair a little bit more, indicating that the puppet can now be freely placed.
Right.
Could move him into that library before we move on, since we've covered
It'll
everything.
be easier, faster, and he'll just hoist him up and carry him back and put him down.
Micah, you lock your brother's puppet into place, and as you do, the mechanisms kind of connect to his joints in his arms, and now the puppet kind of looks like it's being played so that it is flipping through a book.
He kind of watches for a second, and then just eventually shakes himself out of it and continues onward.
Alright, upstairs then. Grab the father, I suppose.
Their bedroom is, up the stairs in the entrance hall, to the left, sort of, north. He's gonna lead them there.
Micah, you lead them to your father's and mother's room.
Are we taking the dad?
And there's kind of the room is kind of as your parents had always left it, very miraculously clean and tidy. But the bed is kind of positioned in a way that is expecting a figure to be placed upon it. The cover's kind of pulled back a little bit, and there's a special place where you would assume that a doll could be kind of locked into the bed.
Let's lock him in, baby.
Lock him in.
You guys snap Micah's dad into bed. You tuck him in. Ooh, nice and cozy.
This feels odd doing.
There isn't much of a mechanism to this one. The doll simply just kind of its eyes kind of close, and remain closed, as though it is resting gently.
Alright.
Did we tuck him in? Pull up the blankets.
I wonder you
Micah.
tuck in Micah's dad and you pull up the blankets.
This is incredibly odd. I'm going to Kyra's room.
Alrighty, you guys go to Kyra's room. Well, you are in Kyra's room right now. In my little diagram. You may
You already
investigate.
know what I'm doing.
You may investigate as you please.
We investigated. That's an 18, baby. Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah.
I'm gonna need you guys to tell me precisely what you are investigating.
Percy's not looking at anything, apparently.
I am investigating specifically her armoire.
You look in this, Micah, you look in the armoire, and you just kind of see clothes. Lots of...
Oh, no, I meant
Which
this one.
Oh, gotcha.
The vanity.
The vanity,
Vanity,
gotcha.
that's the word for it.
You look through the vanity, and it's a lot of, like kind of like sensitive files, like blackmail,
Mhm.
extortion,
Yeah.
bills, her
How-
threatening
how-
to her threatening to expose marriages that
Yeah.
cheating is
How old was she?
occurring. You
She
find
was 32 at the time of her death.
you find tax fraud. Like my girl's
Mhm.
been in it.
Wait, no, how old was she?
She was 32 at the time of her death.
Oh, see, like, okay, when you say little sister, I'm picturing, like, a fucking
Oh
12-year-old.
no, older sister.
Older
Dolores
sister.
was the younger one.
Yeah.
Oh! See, I've been under the impression this whole time it was, like, a little fucking girl.
Oh my god, no.
No.
Elaros is the youngest. Micah's the middle child.
Oh my
Kyra-
god!
Kyra was 32 at the time of her death. At that time, Micah was 28 and Ilaros was 22.
Holy shit. Okay. That's totally different. Okay, I was like, god, this little kid fucking girl bossing. Continue. Sorry about that.
Kyra, heart emoji, love her.
Yeah, no, this was.
For Kyra, she would have loved Delphina.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god.
Literally, she and Delphina would have got along like a house on fire.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there's lots of war crimes in your sister's vanity. However, no stone.
Micah smiles at all the war crimes, and he's like, yeah, just the way I remember it. And is a bit disappointed at no stone, but he's fond of the reminder.
Percy like looked over like Micah's shoulder, like looking at everything, and he just kind of just nods, like, all right.
What else? All right, Delphina. What are you investigating particularly?
This book.
That book in particular. That is. It's like a children's story almost that talks about a large black bird. And as you kind of like page through it, there's a lot of strange metaphor that makes you think perhaps this children's book seems to have like a double meaning to it.
Can she take the book?
You can take the book. Nothing happens when you take it, but the book is now yours.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna just add that. This creepy children's book.
Micah's sitting there like, she loved creepy things. Anyway.
Oh my god. Go, girl boss, you creepy
Girl
bitch.
boss.
What kind of metaphors are there?
They're not like gross metaphor, but like it's like stuff like kind of like speaking beyond your means, talking to things that aren't there. It's your run of the mill creepy ass like children's book for the most part, but if you read closer, you know.
I
Uh-huh.
really don't, but we don't have time to get into that.
We don't. Stop asking me questions about my lore.
I mean, if we don't find anything in here, then the etching mentioned the garden and speaking with the dead.
True, but well, she did. I'd also just like to check out. She had a lot of shit in her office. Where all the other stuff that wasn't incredibly sensitive information was kept.
Pike, what are you investigating?
Pike's investigating the shells.
Shells. Where did I put shells?
Shelves.
Shelves.
Oh, shelves. I thought you said shells. I'm like, where the fuck did I put those? You...
That's so stupid.
I can... listen, perhaps. You investigate the shelves. Lots of books on finances. Lots of books on, like, things that a typical girl boss would perhaps have on her bookshelves. There's nothing
How to
strange
crime
about these.
101.
Yeah. How to steal people's shit and ruin a marriage and set a house on fire, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Go, Bussin'.
I have one more that I want to investigate. Do you want me to roll again?
You can just bank off your other successful roll. That's fine.
Okay, I want to investigate this plant.
It sure is a plant.
Okay, damn it! I was like, you put a plant there. She was in the garden. Okay, like trying to big brain it, but okay, it's a plant.
Delphina's like, I know you're in there, Kara. Come out! like throwing fucking potting soil everywhere.
Just digging through it with her bare hands. Fucking.
Hill looks over and like has a moment of like, what the hell, and then goes over and like looks under the rug and sees if she hid any shit under the floorboards like she used to when she was little.
You're watching us like these fucking dumbasses.
Yeah, literally. She's under the floor herself. She's like, this is all a trick. What the fuck are you doing?
Under the floorboards?
Yeah. She's like, surprise! I'm sure you thought you'd seen the last of me.
Yeah, like lifting up a floorboard.
Yeah. Micah, you do pull back this rug. This is a very large rug that encapsulates most of her room. And as you do, you can see crazed, rabid scribblings in what looks like charcoal and like black chalk and like smears of paint in the shape of a massive black bird with like purple smears for eyes. Handprints have smeared the chalk into the wood, and all that bears up at you is this scribbled drawing of this giant winged monster. And in parts of the floor you can see, you can kind of read what sort of looks like the remains of like words that are like, she sees all, she sees all, she sees all, kind of just completely like smeared in paint on this floor.
Right.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Do you wish she had sort of talked to me about this?
Your sister doesn't seem the most stable.
No, but you know, it's just one of her quirks. Also, I don't think you'll want to speak.
As someone who can potentially be a little on the unstable side, this isn't something you typically talk about.
No, but
Yeah, you tend to keep all this stuff, well, I guess in this case, under the rug.
that is the most horrible pun I have ever heard.
I'll
in
be
my
honest,
life.
I wasn't trying to make a pun, but it just happened. He's smiling.
Micah noogies Percy.
Ah, fuck!
Let's go to the garden.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, of course.
Oh, do we want to check out her office in case?
Yeah, why not?
Before you guys go to the garden, the foxglove crawls out of your bag, Percy.
Oh my god.
He makes his
The
way
fuck
across.
did you get out?
He makes his way across the floor, scuttling, and
I-
he crawls underneath her bed.
Why are you underneath my sister's bed?
You hear a rustling, a profound rustling of which Foxglove is underneath her bed.
Micah's gonna look
Foxglove is
underneath the bed.
underneath her bed.
Percy looks under the bed.
If we're doing anything with any sensitive shit she has down there, I swear to Christ.
Micah, you pull out what looks to be a journal. A large kind of like purple kind of covered journal. And a large black feather is closed within this journal between the front cover. And it seems to gleam with a very glittery purple sheen.
Micah's gonna crack open that journal, baby.
Micah, this journal, kind of like Fen, seems to kind of detail most of her day-to-day life. Stealing, arson, threatening, blackmail, as you were.
Yeah.
Normal.
Very, very normal. Very typical entries about all of her crimes. Journals, entries about like her family, general annoyances, political goings-on in the city.
That one person she almost shanked at a party.
Yeah, exactly. That guy she almost poisoned, just regular things. However, the last few entries seem to tell a very different side of your sister. There's only 3 of them, it seems. But the first one says, Rhaegon refuses to let me speak with her. I know she'll listen to me. I can hear her in the trees and feel her in the twilight before the moon rises into the sky. Her wings beat softly against the night and her embrace is gentle. I will make him take her to me. Entry 2. Fen insisted that I drop it, said that I was toiling in which I do not belong. But they brought me to her. The little one with no voice brought me to her, and I nearly fell to my knees. She's as beautiful as I dreamed. Rhaegon worried I wouldn't be able to handle her presence, but I feel like a beautiful gift has been bestowed upon me. Entry 3. I can see her between the trees, and I know I am safe. And that is where the journal ends. And as you finish reading this journal, Micah, a little moon-shaped thing kind of plops down onto the carpet out of the journal.
He takes the moon shape and tucks the journal into his bag and says, right,
do you want to see if I can get anything from that feather, or?
might as well. And he'll hand it over.
Wonder, you touch, you kind of like gently stroke the feather, and as you do, as it kind of like runs through your fingers, you can see a vision of a gigantic, like, black raven-looking creature. It has many eyes and many wings, and it beats its feathers, its feathered wings against a bright purple moon, and it bores its eyes down at you in a way that fills you with a very strange sense of comfort. You do not feel afraid. You do not feel overwhelmed. She's very, very similar to the presence that you feel when you're with Yuli. But with that, your snippet of this creature ends.
Interesting.
Anything in particular?
I think that bird that she was talking about, I think I saw that. But it was comforting, like Yuli.
Oh, that's something at least. Oh, suppose there's one reason why I was never supposed to venture too far into the woods. Guess we can forego her office now. And just, get her outside.
He'll like kind of scoop Foxglove up and plop him in his bag with just a quick thanks.
You hear Foxglove eating something that he probably shouldn't be in your bag as in reply.
I'll get that later. Alright.
Right. Micah's gonna start downstairs and work towards getting Kyra outside.
Mike, you kind of pop the stone in place. Kyra unlocks for you, and you walk her out to, I'm assuming you're going to the garden?
Yeah.
You take her out to the garden, and as you start to kind of assemble her on her little lock mechanism where she goes, you can see that she's kind of meant to be placed where her where she's facing like the fence that kind of leads out into the woods. And as you are kind of setting her up, you can see another little doll or another little puppet that looks exactly like Bartleby, kind of peeking over the fence. And it looks like when you kind of lock her into her mechanism and it begins to go, it looks like she's having a conversation with Bartleby.
Right. Somebody remind me to speak with Bartleby later.
Yeah, he's kind of looking between the two.
And out of curiosity, Micah's gonna go towards the tree.
Which tree?
The giant oak one.
Oh.
The last one in the back.
Yeah. Micah, you go towards the large tree, and it doesn't seem like Talthanos has done anything specific to this tree. However, when you place your sister into the proper last spot of the puzzle, everything, the dolls kind of like vanish into like a large purple puff of smoke, and and your estate seems to have like returned to the situation that it had been like the very last time that you had come here. And as you approach the tree, it seems that Magpie's, like, his little apparitions have kind of like snapped back on. And as they do, an apparition of a large fur-bulg man is playing with two young children and a small baby kind of cradled in his arms. It seems that Magpie's spell seemed to have captured moments a little bit too far back in time. But for just a moment, it looks like this fur-bulg kind of looks to you, holding your gaze for just a minute, till he returns to playing with the children. And the scene seems to, like, start over and repeat again.
Micah just watches for a bit, before going back and kind of stomping on the ground like he had dug up recently and seeing if it's been disturbed again.
It is not. The box where you, that you buried and burned, is gone still. Nothing seems to have changed there. Your sword is still gone.
That's all Talthanos wanted to do with me. Then I think we can move on.
Hopefully.
As you say that, the gate to one of your gardens that had previously kind of been, like, stone-walled off, slides down, kind of, like, redirecting, or allowing you guys to be redirected back onto the streets of Alibay.
Wonderful.
Alright, let's go.
Yep.
Onward.
There is a very soft cackling in the air as you make your way back through the streets of the city.
Micah flips off the sky.
There's kind of like a, the city's kind of like filled with the same purple fog that you guys encountered. And as you guys kind of delve deeper into the city and you start to pass, what looks to be more mannequins, OMG. They're posed in ways that kind of makes it look like they're fleeing, the opposite way that you're walking. Limbs kind of outstretched towards the path ahead, frozen in like a panicked movement.
Are those people?
They were.
Oh!
Oh, holy shit.
Are we gonna get to the palace and find an Asta mannequin?
Pike, I think.
No, this is Nanette saying
Okay.
that, not Pike.
Imagine Pike's like, are we gonna find your boyfriend? Not there. Probably dead. What do you think, Micah?
Oh my
Will he be alive?
Going out of character for Pike, just like fucking out of left field.
Pike has no intelligence. He does have wisdom. They do have wisdom.
Fuck, that's so funny.
It's like a bit that goes on way too long. He's like, do you think that he's dead? Maybe lying on the floor, posed as a mannequin with no way to come back to you. You're single forever.
We're
Oh
gonna
my
continue
God.
towards the castle, I guess.
Pike investigates a mannequin.
Pike, when you look at one of these mannequins, they're very similar to the ones that you had found in the Madness City at first. They're kind of, it looks like at one point, but before something had happened to them, that they were fleeing from something. I wonder what. But they're kind of like smooth in the face, limbs outstretched, pretty basic mannequin.
I don't like this.
No, this is odd. On to the castle then?
As
Yes.
you guys continue to traverse the winding path up towards the castle, you are stopped at what appears to be a dead end. And you can hear, once again, that cackling laugh, and you see Talthanos kind of leap up over the top of the wall, and he kind of like beams down at you with a very cracked, broken grin. His clawed hands and the front of his body are completely splattered in a bright blue blood.
Oh,
and
oh.
and a deep royal purple blood of his own is leaking from his mouth and his eyes and through the cracks of his mask. And he goes, "You know, you all think you're such fun little fast friends, but you all like to keep quite the secrets from each other, don't you?"
Do we?
What the fuck does that mean?
Micah doesn't say anything.
Percy also doesn't say anything.
Talthanos grins at you, and you guys kind of look up at him, and he gives a little snap, and the vision of the city fades before you, as it almost bleeds into a new scenario, kind of like rolling into the vision of like this lush, dusty purple forest. You guys take a moment to kind of adjust to the rapid change of atmosphere. And you all look down at yourselves. And you realize that you guys are no longer in your body, but you're in Percy's.
Being 1
Oh
inch
God.
taller. I always wanted this.
Oh my god. You're in Smelly Man body. You all take a look around, and you can see what looks like a dilapidated cottage in the distance. And you can see a figure waving at you from the doorway of this cottage, frantically holding something. And just so you all know, all of your actions impact the way that Percy moves through the scenario. Godspeed.
Oh,
Percy have control or no?
You have you have control of what you are saying, but your movement is tied to your friends' collective movements.
Oh god, okay.
Micah moves the leg towards the cottage.
Let me smother Foxglove.
No. We're going
so
towards the
much-
cottage.
It'd be so much quieter. I can multitask.
No.
I won't interfere with walking.
Listen, I'm not a fan of Foxglove either, but Foxglove's important to Percy, so you know what? I'd rather, unfortunately, that Foxglove stays alive. For now. Because he's important to Percy. Come on.
I don't know why that was so fun. I don't know why that was so fucking funny. Just the bird. Let me smother Foxglove. As you guys your attention is brought to this figure in the doorway, kind of waving at you from this cottage. You can kind of hear like a voice off in the distance yelling, "Perseus, quickly now!"
Mega's gonna move.
Percy recognized that voice.
You do. You
Okay.
know this voice very, very, very well.
Oh dear.
As you guys make your way towards this figure, and you can see that it's yet another tall, doll-looking creature. This figure is made of white porcelain, it seems, and you can see like intricately painted blue markings going up her body and kind of around her face. Her features are very different than the kind of like ball joint dolls that you've seen before. But before she can say anything else to you, she pushes what you can now see as a swaddled baby into your arms. And she goes, "One of them brought this back this morning, and I can't stand the thought of her being here. You need to get her out of here now."
Percy's just like stutter. Okay. Important question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Percy like aware that this is like a thing that like everyone is like witnessing, or is this like he's put back in the memory?
You have a good feeling that you are not alone in this revision, in like this retelling.
All right. I'll try.
As you
I'll try.
Percy, as you're kind of, as you have this thing, like, I say thing, it's a baby, as you have this baby, pushed into your,
It's a thing.
my god. As you have this baby pushed in your arms, you can hear what sounds like a loud screech in the near distance. And Ophelia gasps and pushes you towards, like, a hole in the cabin's wall. And she goes, quickly, hide, now. And with that, I'm gonna need all of you to roll stealth.
Oh no.
Is that an actual
Oh
stat?
no.
Or
Yeah.
or not Percy.
Ooh.
Huh? No, all of you. I need a collective
Come
roll
on.
from all of you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Percy.
Oh no.
Come on, hand it over. Ah.
Wait, does it count actually because Wander and Pike aren't wearing their heavy armor when they're like in Percy's body?
Actually, yeah, I'd say so. You can
Okay, then it's just-
re-roll
Yeah.
without.
And then it's just a 15.
Okay, yeah. All right. You know what? That passes.
It's 22.
Woohoo!
That all passes. All of you properly are managed to kind of hide yourselves away. You guys kind of like duck into like a hole in the wall and kind of like off to the side a little bit so that you're completely out of view. And as soon as you manage to get yourselves out of like eyesight, a massive creature like bursts into the cottage where you were just standing, kind of spraying debris everywhere as it's just a little bit too big to properly fit. It towers on 4 black legs similar to an insect, and its front arms are kind of hooked like scythes almost. It has a large white mask-like head that bears kind of like dull human-like teeth and 6 glowing eyes. It roars at Ophelia, and a string of what sounds almost like words, but you can't exactly piece them together, come out from the back of its throat. And she kind of cowers a little bit. She goes, I don't know where it is. Someone must have taken it. I swear, it doesn't matter anyways. It's a baby. It wouldn't have survived. And as soon as, like, you say this, or as soon as she says this, the monster kind of cuts her off as it swings its arm with, like, a violent roar, smashing, like, a ratty set of bunk beds besides the door. And with that, I'm going to need you guys to roll me stealth one more time.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Come on, gaze.
Come on, gay people. Come on, gay people.
Alright, we need 2 more.
Come on, Pike,
Oh, we
hand
only
it
need
over.
one more.
Hand it over, Pike.
Nat, are you alive?
Nat.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, what? Another.
Oh, okay.
Another south.
You know what? Close enough. You managed to kind of get a head start. You managed to get a decent head start, sneaking away from the cottage, and you take off, practically sprinting across the field behind like the cabin before this monster spots you, and it tears itself away from its lock on the doll, and it lets out a giant like a eardrum bursting metallic screech, and it bursts at you, and you can like hear it like thundering behind you, running on all 4s, practically galloping at you. You can hear it grunting and snarling behind you. And you can kind of, like, feel its hot breath at the back of your neck as it's in hot pursuit of you.
Percy's trying to keep his, like, breathing even so he, like, doesn't, like, run out of, like, energy, but he's, like, panicking.
Yeah.
Delphino holds that baby fucking close.
Yeah, you were...
Micah's putting in his training. Let's go. Propelling those legs.
You guys are a collective Jaeger, fucking barreling off through the field. Through these, like, through, like, the thick kind of purple forest that you're kind of, like, passing through, as you run, you can see, like, strange, like, shapes of what looks like perhaps were once people. They almost look ghostly in their appearance, like apparitions that you could, like, kind of, like, move through completely. but you see a fork in the path before you. One you know leads to the river, and the other leads to what you know as a valley of trees that eventually leads to a cliff. Which path do you take?
River.
Forest.
River. Pike is fish, head toward river.
It'll be easier to hide in the forest. We will
Moving-
hear him coming for miles.
It might be able to smell moving water.
I have 2 for river. I have 1 for forest. What do the other 2 think?
Come on, gay people.
Would Percy know like what would be like better, like the river or the?
At
Like
this
what?
moment, Percy, you are under the assumption that these are both kind of equally matched options to get out, but perhaps you will operate differently in either terrain.
Percy's
I want to say river, but I worry about the baby.
yeah, Percy's opting towards the forest for more cover.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two for river, 2 for forest. Wander, you're the deal breaker.
Oh no.
Wow.
River or
Oh,
forest?
really?
You're really the
Actually-
worst, Pumpkin.
Rick is switching towards forest. He knows that terrain better.
Oh boy.
I guess there's either way it's gonna be overruled, so let's just go to the forest, I guess.
Alright, you guys are heading towards the forest, and as you guys turn and you take the path that leads kind of towards the large, lush forest, and as you do, this creature has, like, gained, like, incredible footing with you as you were taking a bit too long to decide!
I feel like we're playing the fucking quarry. Oh my god.
It catches up to you, and I am going to need you all to roll me dexterity because this fairy is biting at your back, attempting to knock you over.
Dexterity,
Oh,
dexterity
fuck.
saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw, let's go.
Alright.
Me.
Delphine, oh god.
That's
Ooh.
okay.
Can I just use my normal dexterity?
I'm gonna let that one slide. You have, alright, 17, oh Jesus Christ.
Oh
We're-
my god.
we're
Our
middlemaning
legs
this one.
Work.
Percy, you feel hard teeth in the back of your, like, biting into your back. However, you do not lose your stride, despite the blistering pain that is, burning in the back of your back. Okay, wow, I'm great at narrating. This thing roars, and kind of tries to take a swing at you, but does miss. And you're kind of bolting towards the trees. Now, since you are in a field of trees, what do you guys want to do? Do you want
Percy's trying to.
Do you want
wants
to keep
to-
running, or do you want to keep hiding, or do you want to try and hide from this thing? Or do you want to do something else?
Run.
Okay.
Run.
2 for run?
Can they cast spells in this body?
No.
Damn it.
If we keep running, we're just gonna hit the cliff, and then where do we go?
We
You
can
guys
reach through the
do-
forest.
You guys do
Yeah.
have daggers on you.
Hide.
Try and hide first.
Yeah, Percy's opting for hiding.
Alright, Percy, Michael, Wander, hide. Pike,
It's
what
good,
was
it's-
yours?
Run.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're outvoted, so we're gonna hide.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna need all of you to roll me stealth.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Wander.
Oh no.
Wander even in somebody else's body. Boobs are too big.
Oh my god! They like they like bounce and they like whack Percy in the face.
Oh no, Percy, I'm trying to stealth, but the clap of my tits keeps alerting me.
Wander
Literally-
and Micah are having the exact same problem right
But
now.
it's just the fucking thing of me over describing Wander's big bouncing tits during
Yeah.
the D&D session.
Yeah.
Wander, your massive shiny nipples hit you in the face.
I was trying to make quick decisions, and I feel like this isn't good.
you guys do not pass that stealth check, and you do attempt to hide from this thing, but you kind of like duck behind like a dead tree, and this thing kind of like hops on top of it, and it doesn't see you at first. It kind of like is trying to sniff you out, and immediately, as it scares the baby, and the baby starts crying,
no.
and it sees you,
no.
and it turns its head towards you, and it lets out a loud roar.
Percy's running.
Micah runs.
Running.
Yeah.
Right. Delphina just kind of like tries to pat the baby and keep it a little bit
Yeah.
calmer in a
Yeah.
life or death situation.
Run, but try and comfort baby.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, everyone's running. I'm gonna need you guys to give me athletics.
Oh no.
Fuck, where's that? Oh, here it is. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh,
You know what?
Peg
I'm gonna
knows
let
how to
that
swim.
one go. You guys, while you kind of like stumble a little bit, you do manage to gain your footing, and you are taking off towards really what seems to be like the end of the cliff. You're running as hard as you can. This thing is fucking booking it towards you. You can feel its hot breath on like the back of your back. My fucking god.
Again.
A hot breath on your back. You can like almost feel like the spittle coming off of its wet teeth as it's like snapping at you. You
On our
guys
back?
yeah, fucking eat me. And I'm going to need an acrobatics check from all of you now.
Christ. Fuck me. No.
You all fail that check, and it's kind of, it uses one of its large front scythe arms to kind of like slice down, and it knocks you guys off of balance, and you are tumbling onto the ground. You're kind of grasping the baby in one arm and like staring up at it with another. What are you gonna do?
Okay,
What-
so staring up at us, Percy.
What can we do?
Percy does
We
not
have
have any
daggers.
spells, but Percy does have a
Dagger.
dagger on him.
dagger.
Shield baby as much as possible, but stab.
Let's see. How do I...
Throw dagger into mouth?
Stab dagger up into mouth.
Yeah, I'll settle on that one. I'll meet halfway and settle on that.
all of you roll me a d10. No, actually, I lied. Roll me, give me a second. I lied.
I lied for attention.
I lied
Daggers
for
are
attention.
D4.
A what?
Daggers are D4.
Actually,
For
yeah, roll me a
damage?
d4.
Ugh. Disgusting.
Woof.
Percy, roll. I want Percy. My fucking god, can I fucking talk tonight? Percy, only you. Roll me dexterity. Hey! You guys like take this dagger so fucking firmly in your hand, and you stab this thing in the fucking face so hard through like one side of its face that you kind of like pull down a little bit, and you blind it on one half of its face. It kind of lets out a loud like metallic scream and backs up. There's like purple blood like gushing out of the wound, and you guys are able to like turn around and like start taking off again.
Yeah, Percy's taken immediately once the thing's off him. He is up and he is scrambling, running as fast as he can.
Looking at.
Run.
This being said, you are left at a dilemma because you have found the cliff.
Is
What's-
there
okay.
any way to scale it downwards?
What's at the bottom? Is it ocean? Is it rock? Like
We're not jumping with a baby.
This is pure. So what you have is like it's kind of the forest and the river kind of meet here. So it is a waterfall, but like it's kind of like half like a pool of water, and then the other half is like rocky cliffs below. You have to jump in a very particular way in order to be able to land in the water.
we have to
We're not-
risk jumping. We
We're
have
not
to.
jumping with the baby. No.
Then what's the other option? Turning and facing? Like
We can try and run around it into the forest or something.
you want to
You
try
jump into the
to?
water with the baby. What if it drowns?
That's what we're for, to make sure it doesn't drown.
But
Percy's holding the baby super close to his chest. He's
the
Panic.
current might drag us under. There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee we can dodge a giant monster we barely just fought off. That
At
already
least this way we can be
us.
a meat shield. Like,
Percy's body
for
already
5
has-
seconds. It's a
Percy's
baby.
body
What's it gonna
already-
do? Crawl away?
Wonder is
I'm-
waiting to run back into the forest.
I'm with Delphina for once.
Alright, we got 2 for jumping, 1 for running back into the woods.
What's the other 2 say?
Pike and Percy, what are your opinions?
Jump.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We have
got-
a swimmer with us, okay?
We got 3 for jump, so
Percy's jumping.
I guess he's panicking.
Alright,
Yes.
I'm gonna need you all to roll me acrobatics.
Okay. Could be worse. Oh, fuck.
It was worse.
Percy, while this is not the best fucking leap to your probable doom that you have ever done, you do somehow manage to kind of, as you kind of fall, you kind of lean out and you, like, catch a branch, kind of halfway between the point, of the fall, and you're kind of, like, sitting here, like, clutching, like, this branch, holding this baby in one arm, as, like, the roaring waterfall is, like, surging behind you, and because fairies are not very intelligent on their own, all that Six Eyes really perceived when he was like hunting you, is that you went over the fall. So it goes over the fall. And so it does. It plummets. It falls like a fucking stone as it like, kind of like its giant scythe arms like flail and wave in the air as it tries to catch itself on anything. But eventually it does manage to plummet to its death as it impales itself on the spiked rocks below.
Lets out just a shaky breath, and he's just assessing himself on the branch and like where he can go from here.
Delphina's holding that baby tight now. She's not putting any effort into actually holding onto the limb. It's all going to the one arm. Holding onto the baby.
The baby is full on wailing right now. However, the Fae is in fact dead.
Is there any way we can hoist ourselves up?
There's like there's like a couple, the way that like the waterfall is, there's a couple branches that kind of lean sort of in a way where you could like kind of like acrobatics yourself to safety. Or you could or you could kind of like, you're at a safe enough distance to where it's no longer like a plummet off of the fall or off of like the waterfall, but like you're kind of
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
it's
you're
like
jumping.
could we get into the basically like jump into the pool of water?
Yes.
Would the baby
How-
be okay if we did that?
How rough does the pool look with
The
the
pool-
with the full current?
The river is a lot rougher than the pool does. The pool, it's not completely still, but it's a lot gentler as it goes down.
So like theoretically we would have enough time to get to like jump in and swim to like
Oh
the
yeah.
shore or the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, I
I
think
guess
that's what
Like,
I
a
vote
vote
for.
a jump.
Yeah.
I'm just still voting
Yeah.
for climb, but
It would, the Nat, what'd you say?
Yep. Jump.
I guess we jump in the 3 votes jump.
Okay. 3 votes jump, 2 votes climb. You guys are jumping. I'm gonna need you guys to roll me athletics.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh,
This weak ass
boy.
bitch.
I'm going to say that while you guys land a little bit messily, you are able
Fucking belly flop.
yeah, you fucking plummet like you Family Guy death pose into the water. However, you're kind of like holding the baby in a way that the baby gets none of that blunt force trauma.
We're just like holding above our heads as
Yeah.
we plummet.
Percy, you pop out of the water with a loud and like kind of rise to the surface, holding this while wailing safe baby, and you start to paddle to shore. And with that being said, You kind of sit there for a second, just kind of considering the fact that you are alive, and Six Eyes kind of lays at the bottom of this, kind of like its like limbs are like trembling as it's like stuck real good on these rocks. It's bleeding out profusely.
He just gets up and immediately just starts moving.
Let's see. Well, with that, you stand there kind of soaked and on the move, but you manage to look down at the baby kind of swaddled in your arms, and it stops crying for a moment, and though its face is red with stress, it kind of looks at you, Percy, and it kind of smiles a little bit.
Aw.
But you eventually do manage to find your way out of the Everdusk, and find your way to a city where you can safely kind of leave the child. And as you walk away, watching someone come to the door to like gather the baby, the vision seems to fade, and you all find yourself thrust back into the streets of Alibay once again. And you're kind of in the market district that kind of leads towards, that are kind of like towards the catacombs near the palace.
The moment they're like thrusted back into Alave into like their like own respective bodies, Percy is like doubled over, like hands on his knees, and he's like just gasping.
Micah's
Oh, no.
going for him and seeing if he can help in any way.
He's just
Delphina has to orient herself after that.
he's just still just doubled over, like just hyper. You're unsure if Percy's even aware you're there, Micah. He's just hyperventilating.
Micah kind of like puts one hand on Percy's back and one hand on Percy's face and kind of like gets down in front of him, like kneeling, and like tries to direct his eyes up.
He kind of like jolts at that, but his like eyes finally kind of like lock on yours, and it's still like it's very panicked.
Percy, we're in Alibay. We're not in the Everdusk.
Just,
You're safe, Percy.
You can feel my hands, yes?
he tries to feel them. He's
This is real. Forehead
Delphina's gonna like kind of put a hand on his shoulder too, and like, you're not there. Focus on that. You're not there. Just the one thought. And breathe. And
Micah returns the forehead touch from last session.
Percy just kind of like closes his eyes very, very tightly, and he's trying to focus on all like the forehead touch, the hand on his back, the others around him, and he's just like trying to take deep breaths. And in his mind, he kind of like pokes at Foxglove to see if he's still there.
Percy, as given where you guys are, you are in close proximity to like the large, as you guys have kind of like gotten closer to the palace, you're seeing like large like these large crates full of like pink stones that have been kind of like stacked and like kind of fused together to make larger columns of these rocks, and they're kind of placed around the palace. So you can kind of hear Fox or feel Foxglove, but your connection with him is not as strong as it was when you entered the city.
If anything, he starts panicking more at that. It's like,
Foxglove, get out of the back
Foxglove.
now.
Foxglove,
You can kind of like sort of feel him, but his connection with you is very, very weak right now.
he looks in his bag. Foxglove,
Percy, you see Foxglove, and Foxglove is he's kind of at the bottom of your bag, and like he's not super alert, not super lucid, and you can feel that kind of wall, so to speak, between you and the influence. It's not super strong. It is fading very quickly.
I got away from those things. He's like kind of scrambling away, like in the opposite direction where those stones are, trying to get distance from that.
You do kind of manage to, there is, like, enough, like, space, where the streets kind of back up to where, like, Foxglove is kind of less incapacitated, and he's kind of, like, popping his head out of your bag, now, and he's like, ah, what'd I miss? Oh, God.
Shit. Fuck. He's just words fumbling. He's the sounds
Percy, as you kind of like as you're kind of like sitting there like kind of struggling to like get it out, he kind of like comes and like sits on your shoulder, and he kind of does the wing thing that kind of like gives off that soothing sound for you.
he just kind of like sits there, and he's just trying to focus on that, and he starts calming down a bit. He's like, the connection was fading.
He's like, Foxo kind of like gets near him, but he's like, listen, man, it gets stronger the closer you get to the castle. I might not be able to go in there with you.
Will he still be there when we get out up there?
If you can get away from them, probably, but those things completely knock me out. You might have to raw dog this one.
But you'll still be there. You'll still be there.
When you get out, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here.
Okay.
He like pats your cheek and he's like, you can do this. I'm not going anywhere.
Alright.
With his gross little insect hand.
He what?
I said with his gross little insect hand.
He nods. And he starts. He gets up. And he looks back towards the others.
Foxo kind of like
offers a
urges you
hand.
on.
What did Micah say?
Micah offers a hand.
He kind of
Oh.
stares at it for a moment before he kind of like looks away, but he takes the hand. He's not
Firmly
looking.
grasping. Are you
Oh, go ahead.
ready to move on?
Have to. I'm fine. I'll be fine.
Alright. Let me know if you need to stop for a second.
No, let's just keep going.
Okay.
Now that the
Micah,
sorry, go on.
Micah gives a squeeze and go ahead.
Now that they're back in Alve, Wonder is noticeably a bit more distracted, but we're not like close to where we started, are we?
No. So you guys started on the outside of the gates. You guys are like rapidly heading like towards the center of the city.
Okay. And there's no sign of Telthonus anywhere yet?
That being said, once you guys kind of go back, kind of like start back to where the path seems to be leading you, you're kind of like in like the market district that like is kind of like surging off towards the catacombs near the palace, and as the kind of market comes into view, you do see Telthanos, and from what you guys can see, he has almost kind of doubled in size since you entered the city. Caspian is still locked in what can only be described as a violent who can smash who into the nearest building hard enough contest. He's kind of spitting up like bright blue blood and kind of wailing on Telthanos' face with his fists until they're wet with like Talthanos' own, like, dark blue blood. And Ethan is, like, trying his best really hard, despite these two being, like, several times larger than he is, to, like, help the situation until he sees you guys. And he kind of, like, comes over, and he's like, you guys look like utter shit.
Do you have this, Ethan? Do you need help? Can we...
He's got this. And he, like, gestures back to Caspian, who's, like, fucking, like, throwing Talthanos face first into, like, a stone wall repeatedly. And he's like,
Oh my god, Gomez.
Fuck him up,
Oh my
Caspian!
oh my god. Delphina from the silent, fuck him up! Let's go!
Like that really over-aggressive parent at fucking kids soccer.
Yeah.
Pike's cheering.
Delphina Caspian is, like banging his face into the floor, and he, like, glances at you nervously, and, like, it seems to give him a slight fear confidence boost.
Fear confidence.
He's like, he's bleeding profusely, but he's doing his best.
Ethan, can you heal him if he goes down?
Well, I'm gonna show you. He, like, points to the thing. He's like, he'll be fine. There's been worse.
Ethan, is there, every time we progress, Talthanos keeps twisting the city around us. Is there any way for you to, I don't know,
Make it
something-
more direct.
This is way beyond my jurisdiction. It's the two of them, I think, and he kind of, like, gestures up at Rivaria, who's, like, still, like, towering above the city, and he's like, I think while Caspian has him distracted, I can take you to the catacombs. I think the Dead Foxes had found some sort of supply tunnel that leads straight into the palace, but we have to go now while they're distracted.
Please.
Let's go now. No.
Let's do it.
Ethan kind of, like, gathers you guys up, and he kind of yells something at Caspian, who is, once again, too busy throttling Talthanos with his bare fucking fists.
Wanda just yells, "Don't die, okay?"
You hear Caspian back, no promises!
Oh god.
Wanda will be fine.
And Ethan is leading you guys frantically through the catacombs. He leads you through these stone tunnels that seem to kind of, like, burrow underneath the city a bit. And you guys pass, like, marble coffins and shrines. Clearly, like, a place where, like, the more privileged kind of seem to be buried.
Oh boy, his ass is dead down here.
Probably is. Micah, you probably passed by the particular spot where Ast's father is laid to rest with, like, his family crest. But Ethan leads you through these tunnels, and eventually
What?
you...
Oh, you told.
What was that?
You totally you cut out for a second. It
Oh,
was
did
weird.
I? Oh, sorry. I was saying Ethan leads you through these stone tunnels, and eventually you do get to, like, a large, sturdy door that seems to be locked.
Is there a key?
There is not a key.
Like, not a key, like a lock, like where a key would go.
Oh, yeah,
Like a keyhole.
Yeah, there
Percy
is.
Immediately, kind of like he's kind of like on autopilot, sort of. He just goes like kneels down and starts like lock picking.
Percy, wait.
What?
Can't we find a key earlier? Micah, where's that
That
blue
was
key?
That's for my library.
for the library. We didn't find a key, but
It doesn't match the castle. If the last time me and Asta were down here, we to be let in specifically by the guard.
Percy goes to try to unlock it. That's an 18.
Yeah. Percy, that does it. You kind of, this seems like this hasn't been used in a bit. The supplied one at least, so, like, the lock is a bit rusted. However, you do manage to pry it open, and you break your way into the palace, and as you do, you kind of, like, break into, like, the beaming white tiles and floors and walls. But as you do, it's dead silent in here. There's not a servant or guard in sight. However, there are plenty more mannequins that seem to be lining these halls. As you guys kind of make your way inside, there's like a loud roar from the top level of the palace, and winding stairs that seem to lead upward and almost kind of beckon you.
Micah's sprinting.
Yeah, Percy's just going.
As you guys make your way up, you can see the city from like the windows as you kind of ascend. It's just overgrown purple like branches and vines are like crawling their way up the side of the palace. There's purple blue fog kind of like rising above the city and kind of clouding the moon. It's a very dreary sight out. And as you reach kind of the second level, or not the second level, but you're kind of not quite, you're about halfway there, I should say. You stand in a stark white hall, and as you begin to kind of go from this set of stairs to the next, kind of across from the building, you're greeted with a large bipedal fallen. Its horned skin kind of drips black corruption as it stares at you with aching purple eyes.
Wanda will immediately, like, throw themselves in front of the group.
You guys gonna roll initiative?
Yes.
Oh boy.
And out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
is this fallen wearing any armor that Micah might recognize?
This fallen is not. It
Okay.
seems that any was like removed or fell off.
Okay.
I'm getting out old reliable.
OMG.
Oh gee, where have we seen this before?
Well, reliable.
It's not letting me put out my little
Stupid.
werewolf thing. Stop drawing tits on my thing!
Oh my god.
Whatever, fucking, there's a creature here. Stop drawing titties on it. Anyways, you may all roll initiative.
I've rolled initiative.
We rolled initiative.
Oh, okay, never
We're done.
mind.
We've all rolled initiative.
I'm the fool. Alright,
Okay, have you checked your dice rolls before?
my dice rolls are fine, good sir. Allow me to get my,
Sometimes dice just roll really bad constantly.
allow me to
They go-
get my adventurer's pen out. I did cut myself on my dice earlier.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh no.
They're
Again?
They're gemstone dice.
Okay,
Fine.
just remember to not eat them.
I didn't eat them. I cut
I'm
myself
s-
on them.
You ate the duck ones.
That's different. I was high. Anyways.
You ate a what?
Listen, we don't talk about it. 15.
I
12.
kind of want to talk about it.
I think we shouldn't. Yeah.
Pumpkin did a little bit of the devil's lettuce, but in food form, and consumed dice.
Yep.
Yep. I do remember that, and they were the duck dice that I specifically got him because I was like, OMG, Daffy.
Yeah. I didn't eat the Daffy dice. I threw it up though. I still have it. Heart emoji.
Is Ethan here with us?
Ethan is. He's kind of standing kind of back. It looks like he's trying to just like make sure that nothing comes up from behind on you guys.
Alrighty.
So I am going. Where am I? Give me 1 second.
Oh, and before we get into combat, Smudge is there. As
Alright.
usual.
So Ethan
yeah.
is kind of like behind you guys, flanking you, just to make sure that nothing is coming up from behind you. That being said, I rolled, not awful, it's a 10. So, and that's being said, Percy, you're gonna go first.
Alright, Percy is going to bonus action Hunter's Mark on the Fallen. So now that's set. Let me put a thing down for concentration. Hold on. Let's just do that one. Alright, concentration. He's gonna kind of like run up to it right here, like kind of towards like the side, and is going to attack at it with one of his short swords. That is, fuck, nope. He I'm guessing a 7 does not hit.
No.
All right, so that misses. And that is his turn because he uses bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark. So he kind of probably like stumbled over and like just like kind of like missed.
Gotcha. Alrighty, then if that's Percy's turn, Wander, you are up next.
Wander is gonna get right up in its face and hit with
Or-
sword.
Would you consider this flanking?
Yeah, I'd consider that flanking.
Advantage.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna use the spell slot to throw a divine smite. Would you consider this undead, like for the extra smite damage, or?
I don't... For Fallen, no, I'd say.
Okay. Okay. And I think they get a second attack because they're over level 5 now, so.
Alright, how much?
Wander turns the fucking might of God into that swing.
Yeah. How much damage is that? Let me see.
That total is.
Calculator out.
29. Total.
29. Gotcha. Alright. Wander, as you kind of deliver a hefty blow to this creature, while it doesn't seem to step forward towards you, it doesn't look non-hostile, but it seems almost as if it's straining itself a bit to not lurch forward towards you.
Oh no.
But it takes the hit and lets out like a very loud thunderous screech. And with that, Pike, your turn is next.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
Just gonna check. So is this a Fey looking beast or is this different?
This is a fallen. This is different.
Alright.
We haven't seen one of these bitches since like session 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last time you guys saw them was the clock tower, maybe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I saw one was session 1.
Oh, bitch, that's no. Wait, oh yeah, you weren't around for the clock tower. That's right.
Yeah, I was dying that day. I was like, hey, I can't make it. I am literally like ill in my bed.
I'm passing away literally
Okay.
right now.
I'm gonna go through a lady.
Ooh, is that 19 damage?
That's 19 to hit,
Oh, 19. That definitely hits.
and then
And then 8 damage. Gotcha. I'm fucking dyslexic today. Alrighty. Pike, this creature also, kind of like stomachs that attack as well. It seems to be kind of losing its ability to kind of like strain itself, and it kind of lurches forward a little bit. Micah, it is your turn.
Micah is going to firstly cast Elemental Weapon at level 3. And he is touching his whip. And with that, he is using, he's going to add fire damage to that. And so this has a +1 bonus to attack rolls and deals extra damage.
Ooh, nice.
So that's a 24 to hit.
Oh yeah, that definitely
and
hits.
and an extra, so that's 4 plus 1, 5 damage.
Alrighty.
And Smudge is next in the order because he always goes directly after Micah. And he's gonna use Flame Seed. That's a... 1 second, I have to roll the d20 and then add to it. What's 17 plus 6?
23. 23.
23 to hit.
Oh, definitely.
And let's see. That's 1d6 plus 6. That's 9 fire damage from Smudge.
Ooh, alrighty. Plus 9. Alrighty. And then Delphina, you are next.
Okay. I am going to have her. I'm going to have her try to use her whip. Let's see how well this works.
Whip buddies, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yay! Do I have to click
You
the
have to roll
slash
damage.
thing?
Just
Yeah,
click where it says whip, and it should roll damage for you.
I clicked my whip.
Oh no, I mean in the when it rolled, where it says 21 underneath that, you should be able to click where it says whip under the 21. There we go.
Okay.
OMG. Alright. 3 slashing. Alrighty. Creature is up next. Does a 9 hit? Wander?
No.
No, okay.
No.
This...
Have you tried rolling different times?
I have tried rolling 3 sets of dice. 1 of them I made, 2 of them I bought. I'm just that unlucky. Anyways, Wander, this creature seems to, tries to seem to, make another, or tries to, reel back its claw, and kind of strike at you. But it seems to kind of almost seize up and kind of, hold itself back, in a way. But that ends its turn. Percy, you are up.
Alright, he's in flank with Wander, right?
Yes.
Alright, so that's advantage. He's gonna go in with first with a short sword, one of his short swords. Ooh, okay, does a 20 hit?
20 absolutely hits.
Alright, let me roll sneak attack damage as well. So that's 10 damage. Oh wait, and also Hunter's Mark.
Bitch. Fuck him up!
15 damage for the first attack. Going in with his second short sword. 8. So that's 14, right? So 14. In total, 29 points of damage.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In total for the 2 attacks.
Yeah. Percy, you thrust your short sword into this creature, and your attacks you end up putting it down. It kind of staggers back, and it's kind of choking out this bright purple blood, and it's kind of slathering the floors, and it does kind of crumple over and fall to the ground.
Wonder will go down with it because they sensed it was holding back. They're gonna put a hand on its head and just be like, "It's over. I'm sorry."
Aww.
Wander, as you touch
Too pure.
As you touch this creature, you're brought into a memory. And you can hear Eutorus's voice almost pleading out. And you can see Ruth kind of standing before him and walking away. And you hear him go, I beg of you, please, he doesn't want this. He doesn't want me. If you just listen to him. And you can see Ruth not looking at him, but still trying to walk away from him. And she goes, enough of this nonsense, Eutorus. You and Asta will marry, and in due time he'll forget that man, and you will lead this city as you're told. And she kind of chastises him a bit as though he's a child, And you can feel Eutorus get a little bit frustrated, and you see him reach out to gently grab Ruth and like kind of catch her on the arm. And as a saint of truth and justice, Eutorus freezes as he comes to a realization, and he pulls his hand back, and he goes, "You're not Ruth." And Ruth stops, and she sighs, her shoulders kind of drooping, and she turns a bit towards him, and she goes, "You could have just played your part. It seems none of you vermin can manage that, can you?" And before he can say anything, Ruth kind of whips around, and she's got like one of those sharpened glowing pink stones in her hand, and she plunges it into Eutorus's side, and he kind of cries out and falls back onto the floor, where it seems several corrupted guards seize him. And as everything kind of goes dark for him, she goes, "I know just what to do with you." And that is where the memory ends.
Makes a very sad noise.
Was this... Wanda, what did you see?
Wanda, are you okay?
Oh. This was Eutorus.
Was?
He was talking to Ruth about not wanting the marriage, but he touched her and he found out it was Sophia, and she attacked him. That's why he was holding back.
He didn't deserve that.
Percy's just kind of staring down at Eutorus's body with his, like, both of his blades just, like, coated in his blood, and he's just, like, staring down.
As you guys are kind of, like, gathered around him, like, Ethan, like, kind of comes up, like, behind you. There's a very obvious set of realization that's kind of dawned on his face.
We can bury him later.
Ethan. This is bad. This is worse than we thought.
This is really bad. Something like this is unprecedented. And I'm going to be completely honest with all of you. I don't know how this is going to go out.
Wanda will
We'll
say,
figure it out.
like, prayer for Eutorus.
No.
We have to keep going. We have to keep moving forward.
Me too.
Can you... You've handled Fallen and Fallen like Eutorus before. Can you make sure he's properly taken care of?
Oh, I can take care of him afterwards, but there's nothing we can do for him now.
Okay.
Later.
We just need to go.
Yeah. We need to move. Now.
Aiden kind of nods and he starts like ascending up to the top of essentially the roof of the palace, essentially where like the rumbling is coming from.
We're going.
Yeah, Percy's following.
On his trail.
Yeah, Percy's following. He uses prestidigitation to, like, clean off his blades before, like, following.
So as you guys continue upwards, and the roar sounds out again, this time much louder, and you guys can kind of like cover your ears as like it's a bit like as it's like so nearly deafening, kind of shakes the building as loud as can be. You race up these marble stairs, and upon the roof of the palace, you can see Sophia and Asta. Rivaria is right behind them, the main mask of its face kind of watching you all as its vines practically engulf the roof. Its flowers are blooming so bright that they're nearly blinding, and Asta is half conscious, entangled in like the roots and vines of the mad god. And you can see Sophia standing beside him, and she turns to look at you and she goes, "There you all are, just in time."
What are you doing?
Sophia, don't do this.
I'm going to need you all to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Fuck off with that.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
Yes! Never mind.
Wait, hold on, let me roll again. I accidentally rolled with advantage. Oh damn, that's boring.
Yeah!
Ooh.
Fuck yeah!
Surprise.
All of you except for Pike seem to kind of maintain a level head over like the strange like wash of kind of arcane energy that kind of blasts towards you for a moment. Pike, however, you are vividly hallucinating. You can the kind of world around you kind of buzzes a bit. You kind of see double. You are not in your proper head at all.
All Pike can think about is biting.
Oh.
Oh no.
Pike, just think about Boat.
Sophia, please.
Sophia looks to you, Micah, and she snaps her fingers, and you all seem to kind of feel like the same kind of roots that hold Asta kind of like snake up your legs and kind of slowly begin to like encapsulate you.
Micah starts burning.
Micah, these are not the kind of vines that you are able to burn away.
Fuck.
They hold you very fast. Like the blooms on these vines are like bright, nearly blinding. She holds.
He kind of.
Can Percy Misty step out of the vines?
Percy, for these ones, you find yourself unable to.
I would like to use my other wild shape. To turn into a bird and get out of it, I suppose.
I think actually, yeah, that would work. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, he does that, and stations himself and takes himself out of the wild shape in front of, like, sandwiched between Sophia and Asta, and sort of kind of positions himself between the two of them, and just kind of extends a hand backwards and tries to, like, grab any inch of Asta that's, not entangled.
Micah, Asta's like essentially completely covered like in these vines. Like a little bit of his shoulders and like his head and neck are visible, but you watch as Asta like lifts his head, and despite him appearing like half alive at this point, his eyes kind of widen when he sees you, and in that moment, Sophia kind of turns to you and she goes, "Well, what an unexpected act of bravery from you, little fox."
Mike isn't even looking at her. He's just focused on Asta, and he's just going, "Heck, I said I'd come back. I promise. Can you move it all, please?"
Micah, Asta kind of like tries to like lift his head a little bit more to stare at you, but he seems to like he's so out of it at this point. But as like you kind of like he seems to like kind of not reaching his arm because his arms are bound, but he seems to like kind of like arch his fingers up just a little bit. You can see Ravaria herself kind of like beginning to rise ever so slightly, and like a giant thorned vine grabs you in a way, and it's kind of like crushing down on your shoulders, just completely engulfing your body, and she kind of like shoves you like almost into the wall behind your friends, but in a way where you can still like see what's going on in front of you, and she goes, now little beasts, there'll be none of that poor behavior.
How free are our arms right now?
They are not. You guys are rolled up. You guys, she
Okay.
took you like a little piece of fish, and she just kind of like rolled you up in seaweed.
We are burritoed. Okay.
Yeah. Sophia kind of turns to you all, and she goes, "You are about to witness a gift given unlike any other."
Please.
And
Please, no.
despite your cries, Micah, and despite Asta seeming to kind of almost like to try and mouth your name, you watch Sophia kind of nick her palm with a blade that she had pulled out of her robe, and she seems to be like mumbling something loudly to herself. And Rivaria roars again, and the mouth of her mask begins to kind of like split open, and a bright light seems to seep from the cracks in this like in the mouth in her mask. And you, over like the sound of like the arcane magic kind of like burning around you, you can hear, "Fear not, little one. This pain you feel will have purpose, and you will thank yourself for the part you played here." And she kind of like seems to like smear her blood like across his face, and she lifts her staff, and a massive blast of like lavender colored arcane energy booms from before you all, knocking like the ones that aren't like kind of like implanted in the wall like Micah is, are like knocked back next to him. And it seems to like almost like tear away your bindings. Like this magic is like so powerful and profound. And Asta, as like the light kind of like fades, seems to lay unconscious behind Sophia, and a powerful glow seems to emanate straight from his body. And Sophia looks to all of you, and her once stark blue eyes are now like a burning, powerful purple color, and she smirks at all of you, who are now freely released from your bonds. And with that, I'm going to need you guys to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Fuck
Oh
me.
boy.
Oh, Pike.
Pike's still hallucinating, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh.
Wait, what would Pike see during all this?
Pike, I feel like Pike can, like, barely, like, comprehend, like, proper, like, shapes at this point. Like, they're out of their fucking gourd.
They're like you when you do an edible.
Yeah, literally. They're seeing Bigfoot right now.
Oh my god.
I'm going to roll for both Sophia and Ethan.
Wait, Ethan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ethan's here.
Yeah, Ethan's
Oh
here.
yeah, forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Big kitty support, let's go.
Yeah. Big titty support got a 5.
Whoa.
So that's cool.
Okay, sounds about right. Fucking
Yeah.
Ethan.
Sophia, Sophia's so fucking mean to him for no fucking reason.
She really is. Like, she'll be half conscious, like,
Literally, half awake, she'll be like, "Oh, fuck you, Ethan," and Ethan's like across the room, like doing his taxes, like, the fuck, what? But Sophia got a 15, so in that. Percy.
Is it my turn? Or
I'm sorry, I'm just writing down initiative.
Okay.
Delphina. What did I say that mine got? I already forgot.
Sophia got a 15, Ethan got a 5 or a 6, I can't remember.
Gotcha.
Also, got a combat playlist in the voice chat.
I'm listening to it. Let's go. Same map?
Yeah. I couldn't find the vibes that I wanted. Get rid of the titties. There we go. Sophia and then Ethan.
I'm guessing the thing is still where last was.
Yeah, she's still, like, just about here, and you guys would be just about, like right here, starting.
Alright. I'll move Percy over there then.
Alrighty, so that being said, Percy, you are going first.
Alright, he is going to cast Hunter's Mark on Sophia. And he is going to, once the vines are once the vines are down, he's like completely free. He just kind of like rushes for her, has his like sword out and one of his short swords, and he's trying to like slash at her. That is, make sure I'm on. Okay. Piercing damage, 8 slashing damage.
Alrighty.
And
Yep.
that is his turn.
Alrighty. Alright, Delphina, your turn.
She is going to cast Hex.
Ooh, yes, I love Hex.
Ooh.
Yeah, fucking actually using my magic this time.
OMG, girl boss.
I forgot about this until literally last session. So she casts Hex on Sophia.
Yep, so doesn't need to roll anything. Concentration. So that just means anytime Delphina gets hit, she just has to roll a constitution check.
Okay.
And if it's above a 10, then the constitution stays up.
Alrighty.
Sick.
Delphina, when you cast magic at Sophia, she kind of scoffs and she goes, "Ugh, always the attention seeker."
Look at yourself right now, Sophia.
She shrugs and she goes, "I have the reason to." And Wander, you're up.
Wander is going to use that action to cast Bless on, I guess, the 3 closest people. So Pike, Micah, Delphina. You get an extra d4 to attack rolls and saving throws.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And they are going to just close the distance. And I think that's their turn.
Alrighty.
You'll have to remind me of that anytime I attack, because I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
remember.
I'm writing it down on a sticky note.
Try to remember bless and necrotic damage that you get to do.
So,
Fucking oxymoron with that.
Yeah.
alright. So, with that being said, Percy, you're right next to Sophia, right?
Yeah, I'm like right by her. I just
Wander
slashed.
is also Wander closed the distance as well.
Okay. So, I am going to need you, Percy, to make a dexterity saving throw. Ooh, that's...
Fuck yeah,
alrighty.
Percy.
Oh yeah.
Alright, you met the saving throw, so I think her turn passes. So that's gonna go straight to Micah.
What was she trying to do? Out of curiosity.
You'll see. It's fine.
No, I don't want to see. What?
You'll see. Heart emoji.
Micah is going to cast Flame Blade. And like a fiery scimitar bursts into shape in his hand. And he is going to attack Sophia with that, and that's a melee spell attack.
And then you get a +4 to that roll. I mean, not
Yeah.
a +4, sorry, a d4.
Yeah, so that's a 14 to hit.
Wait, roll a d4.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
Oh,
Do you not? It was a 10 and then you rolled a d4,
Oh.
right? Or
yeah.
no?
okay, so 13.
That's a 13 to hit, yeah.
Wait, 13, 12. Wait,
What, Jake?
Wait. sorry, wait, hold on.
Hurts my
10 + 3,
brain.
Jake.
Stop with the
10
numbers.
+ 3, Jake.
No, it's like 9 plus 3.
That's
10
the damage. 10 is to hit.
I've never
And to
felt
hit.
so seen in my life.
Alright, but yeah, that's a 13 to hit.
Alright, that does in fact hit.
It does?
It does.
Okay, so that's
Oh. Okay,
7
I finally
fire
get that.
damage. And so that's 7 fire damage from Micah. Smudge follows directly after, and Smudge is going to teleport behind. It is going to use fiery teleportation, and is going to like get around to where Asta is, like take his mouth at a little chop on his arm and teleport him back behind the group. And could Sophia make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Yeah. That's a 7.
That does not save. 1. So that's gonna be 5 fire damage from Smudge.
Alrighty.
And Asta is behind the group now.
Alrighty.
From, like, behind Delphina, I suppose, because he had to close the distance to hit her with the scimitar.
Excellent. Alright.
Asta.
You have Asta.
Yeah.
Alright,
There
so
you go.
then Ethan is going Ethan is
Hold on, let me wait. Asen was 5, right?
yeah.
Pike rolled a 6 in initiative.
Oh, Pike goes, my bad.
What can Pike see?
Pike, you are now you can see you can essentially pretty much see what everyone else can see.
Alright, Pike's gonna try and hit Sophia with Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame, alrighty.
And you should have a d4 to add to that, since you've been blessed. Unless it's not an attack roll type thing, then...
It's a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, never mind.
Actually, where is Sophia right now?
So he has the blue X up there.
Still the
Hasn't
blue
changed.
X?
Yeah.
Alright. Pike's gonna take a swing with the glaive then.
Alrighty.
And that's a plus a d4.
Yep.
Okay.
$16.
Alrighty.
It's the 16 hit.
16 does hit.
Alright, damage time.
Whee!
Hell yeah.
Whoa! Hell yeah, 10
Lucky,
left.
go Pike.
As you guys are kind of kind of going at Sophia, Ethan kind of pauses, and he kind of he pauses and he kind of takes like a bow and arrow that's on his back, and he kind of aims it towards her, and he kind of mutters something to himself, and kind of like a black arrow of charged energy kind of like comes towards her and strikes her dead in the chest. But it seems to not kind of have much of an effect on her the way that it's just...
No, continue.
He notices that it has very little effect on her as his arrow kind of like strikes her and ripples through. And you guys can kind of see a creature kind of materializing beside Ethan. Something that you guys could probably say looks a bit like a horse, almost.
Yes.
And he kind of lowers his bow a bit, but his turn does 0 damage to her. But Percy, we're gonna go up towards you again.
Hell yeah. Alright. Perfect. To try to come get your cowboy man. Alright, I think this is okay. He's gonna I'm gonna say he's like in flank with Micah with him right over there.
Mm-hmm.
If that's okay to say.
Yeah.
Alright. First attack. Short sword. Ooh, 20. Let me put in sneak attack. And Hunter's Mark. That is... Let me...
19.
19 points of damage for the first attack. And he's gonna go again with his short sword. 17 hit?
17 does in fact hit.
Alright, he's gonna go in with that. Apply his Hunter's Mark, and he's going to expend one of his bardic die to do Psychic Blades.
Oh my god.
4?
This is-
Okay.
Christ, where's he going in?
Percy, I keep saying glass cannon, big dick damage.
See,
That's 13 for that one.
Ethan's about to come get his rope, man. Oh my god.
He's just kind of like with the first dagger, he's not dagger, first short sword, he like again like kind of like slices in, and then with the like next one he kind of like turns with like the other one in his hand and kind of like flips it in his like grip, so it's like the it's like he switched the grip around on the sword, kind of like flipped the sword over, and it's just kind of like with like elbow strike down, like hit her again with the other short sword. He's just very laser focused on taking her down. But that was like that is his turn. That was in total 32 points of damage.
Oh my god. We're gonna have to get up to like level 7 to be able to match Percy's damage right now.
It's so broken. I love he does so much damage.
I mean, if Wanda gets close with the smites.
That's true, that's true. Everybody else though.
Alrighty, next is Delphina.
Delphina is going to use her. She's gonna come forward and use her fucking daggers. So sweet. So she has one in each hand. So do I roll that twice?
Yes.
No, Percy can roll it twice because it's 2-weapon fighting.
Okay, see, like,
I
don't know.
You can use your bonus action to do like an offhand attack, even if you don't have 2-weapon fighting.
Oh, okay.
2-weapon fighting just means like you get to add your like bonus to damage.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's just gonna use the one, and then
Roll damage.
sweet, and then I will also have her do her necrotic damage.
Oh yes.
From her hex.
One.
Yay!
Let's go.
Alrighty. Then it's Wander's turn.
Oh wait, no, I have the Wander's extra thing.
Oh.
Oh,
alright.
you don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah, you already hit.
You already
It's
hit
like
your
the initial
Okay,
like,
okay.
roll.
Yeah, like
Okay,
if
cool,
you
never
roll,
mind.
And you could be like, wait, let me roll a d4 to maybe get like a 14 to hit. It's
But if you did want to get an offhand in with your like extra dagger, then you could.
Okay, fuck it then, I'll do that too. Get all of the damage.
Alrighty. So then
hell
it's
yeah.
Wander's turn. And I'm gonna add that 24.
no, the 24 is the damage to hit, not the damage
damage to hit,
overall.
okay.
That's
20
the roll to hit.
Okay, 24 hits, absolutely. And then 4 piercing damage, so I'm gonna add that. Alright, Wander's turn.
Wander's just gonna go in with the sword.
Wander,
Nice and easy.
you plunge your swords into Sophia, and though they go through her, and they do go through her, you notice she has a bit of a lack of a reaction, as she has to most of your spells. Though they've hit, and though she's taken damage from them, something seems a bit off. And Ethan seems to have caught on at this point, and he's kind of like summoned the horse creature at his side to kind of like wrap itself around Asta. And I am going to need all of you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Fuck my life.
Oh, I can add on. Okay, that's a 9, never mind.
You finally found
Pike
that
and
something.
Delphina.
Yes.
Pike and Delphina, you can add a d4 to that.
It's still not very much.
Yay, it's a 9.
Wander,
Delphina
does
and
that-
Micah have 9s.
Wonder is a 15.
That's a 15. All of you have failed this dexterity saving
All
throw.
of us? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So Sophia stands up and she kind of lifts her arms, and you can see like the sky begins to kind of like thunder. Like a big cloud of like bright purple arcane energy begins to like fester in the clouds, and suddenly a massive rain of meteors begins to plummet down from the sky.
Uh-oh.
And because you are all within range,
How much damage do we take?
you are going to all take 20d6 damage. All of you.
What, 20?
Yeah.
20d6?
All of you are going to take
How do you
20d6 damage.
calculate that?
Wonder is, I don't know if this kind of counts, but like Wonder can use their reaction to like shield a target and reduce damage.
How much damage do we take?
Let's see.
Rolling it.
Oh my god.
Delphina rolls. Let's have the DM roll. Wait, hold on. Are we all rolling 20d6 on our own? or-
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what, 4 times she's died?
Just
Wait, what are we doing?
I'm fucking... She's gonna be fucking like Klaus from the fucking Umbrella Academy at this point.
You realize that getting into negative double your health means you perma-die, right?
Oh, I know. I'm well aware.
Are we all rolling our own damage? What's
Yeah,
going on?
go ahead.
Okay.
just for flavor, Wonder is pulling like Pike
How do I
under
do
their
that?
shield to try and like shield them.
No.
Okay, you know what, I'm gonna throw some flavor
Mike
in there
is reaching
too.
out towards us, like Percy.
Oh,
Delphina's gonna
20.
grab onto Percy as well and just try to like cover him.
Yes, Mike is doing the same.
It's like supposed to be Wonder's like interception feature, but honestly at this point it just has no nothing.
You intercept one whole meteor.
I couldn't even roll for it. Watch this. Pike takes how much less damage? This is gonna be a real lifesaver, I promise.
How do
9
I
less.
roll?
I saved Pike.
Jake,
How do
what
I-
you're gonna want to do is click is over on the dice thing on the left side of your screen. There is an
Yeah.
advanced dice roller. You're gonna put in 20
Oh.
and then d6 and then roll.
Oh, wait, no, wait,
Oh, gee,
Ignore that.
Percy survives!
Ignore that.
Oh.
Okay, what? Okay. No, okay, yeah, he's down.
These
God.
meteors
Hmm,
smash.
what's
They
this?
smash into the
My-
platform
my
that you
God,
all are
yeah,
on.
Delphina.
It completely
Thanks, Dan.
these purple flames completely engulf you all as you are smashed to pieces by this giant meteor storm. And Ethan's like horse creatures kept Asta from these blows. Unfortunately, her reach is only one person. Not that it matters for you guys, because as the last bits of life kind of fade from you all, and you hear like the thunderous roar of these meteor showers ceasing, you hear the sound of dice rolling on the ground,
Yeah! I got
and
the
you
death
can
dice.
hear the loud kind of like of very loud hooves kind of like clasping onto the ground, and you hear, "What have you done to my ugly little creatures?"
Yeah!
The king!
You can kind of hear like a slightly revolting sound in Sophia's voice, and she's like, I don't understand. And he's like, of course you don't understand. And you guys can kind of like feel him like kind of grabbing you all like by the back of like your clothes. He's kind of like hefting you over his arms. He's like, I will be taking these. And with that, there's kind of like a little pop in your vision, and you guys are suddenly in a place you have been before, but is not entirely too familiar to you. And you are suddenly all kind of like standing in a bit of like a void of darkness almost, but it's a very comforting kind of darkness. And Sakanir stands before you all. The kind of lanterns that hang down from his horns kind of dangle in the wind. The little charms that kind of hang off of his horns seem to be kind of moving with an invisible breeze. and he looks at all of you with a little bit of sadness in his eyes, and he goes, "Well, I'm very sorry that we have to meet under these circumstances, but it is good to see all of you again."
Oh, are we dead?
You are, in fact.
Oh, oh no.
No,
Caspian's gonna be really sad.
no,
We had the dice, right? The dice were supposed to prevent this.
The dice bring you back. They don't keep you from dying, if that makes any sense.
Well, right, but it's not. We're not done here.
Oh,
I mean-
no. And he like kind of like waves a big claw at you, and he goes, "Absolutely not. You're not." And he kind of like tips his head a little bit. "You're not like done.
And take us
Just-
back.
so can we just
We have to go back
please?
now.
He kind of his eyes kind of like half lit at all of you, and he goes, You being here, however, has a bit more of a concern for me. This seems to be a bit more than I thought that you would have to handle."
I don't care. I need
Just send us back.
just please.
We can discuss what has to be handled later. There's too much
Yeah, not really
on the line right now. We have to go back now.
I can't leave him alone, please.
With that, Sakanir kind of like nods solemnly, and he kind of like sits up straight a bit, and he goes, "Well, I hope that I don't see you again in these circumstances." And he kind of gives a snap, and you guys find yourselves on the floor of Kalgranos' shop, kind of pulling yourselves up from a unconsciousness.
Oh gosh.
Micah's rushing for the door.
Why are you going for the door for?
Micah, wait. You just died, and speaking of someone who's done it more than I like, you are not strong right now. You
I
need to
can
wait.
think about it later.
That you're not thinking is the problem. Sit
Wonder
your
is also
ass
kind
down.
of edging towards the door very slowly,
Yeah,
but scared of
Percy is as
Delphina.
well.
She's gonna like look around, and point at all of them, like jabbing her finger in their faces. I'm the one here who has been through this. Your body just fucking died. You need to recover. I want to go
What?
back out there. I want to be out there right now, just as much as you do. I want Sophia's fucking head.
Peanut might miss.
Micah, I know what it feels like to die.
That isn't the problem.
I know what the fucking problem is. I'm saying we're not going to be able to fix the problem if we get up there and all of you collapse because you didn't allow your body to recover from dying. Remember what happened when my body started to, kind of not work after dying?
I think this is a
I
pretty
have to
different
drink
situation.
blood now.
As you guys are like arguing amongst each other, you can hear the familiar hoof steps of a very large lich man. And he goes, "So much fighting in my store, and I don't know why." And he kind of like pokes his head from the back room, and he's like, "Very hairy man with very large breasts. Come here."
Which one?
Which one?
He like glances between the two of you, and he's like, the one not fucking my nephew."
Alright.
He
Micah
snaps
goes.
at you, Micah.
Micah goes.
Micah, Kalgranos leads you into the back room. He's like, so eager to be running off. Don't you want to make sure that your little friend is alright?
What?
And Micah, Kalgranos, leads you to the back room where, Caspian and Ethan are kind of, like, crouched, and Asta is, like, leaning against a wall. kind of clutching his shoulder, staring straight ahead at you.
Starlight. Oh god, are you... and Micah just collapses on his knees next to him and kind of checks him over, I guess. Just... What? How... Are you alright?
Micah, when you look at Asta, he's kind of bandaged up a bit, but you can see his eyes are glowing like a bright purple. The tips of his dreads are kind of like glowing a bright lavender as well. The tips of his fingers and kind of his hands trailing down are also giving off like a bright purple gradient. And kind of similar to those bowls that are kind of cracked and resealed and fixed with gold, there's like purple, almost like cracks that kind of run up his body. And he stares at you for a moment. And he seems to be kind of shaking almost. And then he kind of like springs at you and he kind of like grabs you and pulls you really closely. And he doesn't say anything.
Micah wrapped him in his arms and just holds him and kind of, has that realization and just kind of leans his head against Aston's and just says, "Oh, darling, I'm so sorry."
And Asta seems to, you can kind of like hear like little sounds like coming from his throat, but almost as if he's trying to like form the words, but it seems as though he really can't at one point. And Ethan and Caspian are kind of like glancing around at each other in deep disbelief when they look at Asta. And Caspian kind of like, the two of them kind of like stand and kind of give you and Asta like a moment of privacy. And they both just look utterly white when they walk into the room with like the rest of you.
What happened? What's going on?
Sometimes things occur in life. Things happen.
Just tell us what the fuck happened.
Kalgronos kind of like pokes his head from the doorway and he's like, looks like the white-haired lady's little experiment was very successful.
What
Alright,
experiment?
What does that mean? Again, just tell us what the fuck happened. Stop being cryptic.
Well, it seems that Sophia has done a grand impossible feat, and the new little godling is in for some new adjustments.
Godling?
Caspian looks like he's about
I'm
to
sorry,
throw up.
Delphine's gonna stand up and like kind of walk closer and like leans forward a bit. Like, what fully did she do to Asta?
Caspian looks like he's about to be ill, and Ethan closes his eyes and he takes a really deep breath and he goes, somehow, in the most unnatural sense of the word, of the way, Sophia made him a saint.
Of Rivaria.
The Ethan like nods very slowly.
Oh, that's fucking great. He has his head in his hand. It's just fucking great.
if we kill Rivaria,
Oh, fucking god. Are you Delphina?
Oh, this one is
Percy.
insane. How nice.
you know what's insane? Dying. You know, there's a lot that's insane. A lot of this is insane. So
Don't-
sanity is kind of out the window right now. You have to look at insane options.
Dying is not insane, Delphina. People die all the fucking time. That's normal.
Dying
Killing
and coming
a-
back is not normal.
I'll agree with you on that, but it's a fucking god.
Gods have been killed in the past.
Have you been killed by mortals?
There's a first time for everything. We could find a way. We can start by killing Sophia.
That's more achievable.
I know my objective.
Caspian kind of turns while the two of you are going in on the complexities of life and death and insanity. And he just kind
Love,
of
death, and robots.
Yeah, love, death, and robots. And he just kind of like goes up to Pike and Wander and he just like wraps his arms around the two of you.
While Wander is being hugged, they'll throw some sneaky healing spells at him.
He's like, I feel you doing that. It's not no time for that.
I think it's time for that.
No?
Yes.
No. He holds like your face in his big giant hands and he's like, you died. You both died.
I head back now.
I know, but you died.
I couldn't die. You'd be too sad.
I'm sad already. You died. That's my problem.
Didn't stick.
Oh. He ruffles your hair, Pike. But he kind of like grabs your hands and he kind of looks you up and he's like, "Well, you all right?"
I'm fine. Here, I
Yana.
was worried that you were the one who was gonna bite it, but
You're not getting rid of us that easily, Caspi.
I hope not.
we have the funny dice deal to keep us coming back, so...
Yeah, I'm well aware. And he like turns and he like glares at Colgranos and Colgranos kind of like does that gross little finger wave over his shoulder.
Picturing fucking this giant.
Giant what?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Pull
Giant.
us down.
Raz?
Oh no. Oh, her cat might have taken out the internet again.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Her giant what? A giant what?
I'm playing Delphina in the meantime.
What's in the
I
box?
I think we should murder Thar, and I think we should murder Sophia, and I think we should have summary executions in the courtyard. Now, and I'm going to girl boss. I'm selling leggings, LuLaRoe.
Oh my god.
I'm getting into Herbalife and becoming my own boss.
Delphina's part of an MLM now, heart emoji.
This is
Delphina
canon.
starts
Sorry
an
for this.
MLM with Kyra's ghost.
Oh my god. Well, while Delphina's coming back, Micah Asta kind of like starts to stand. And he kind of very like slowly like kind of like inches his way like out towards like the main room where everyone is.
Mega kind of helps him along if he can.
He's like kind of like clutching your hand very tightly, Micah. And he looks at Colgranos and his like face is like full of like strain and he's very upset and he goes, What? What did you say she did to me? And Calgrona's kind of, his singular eye socket somehow, in a way, you can see his skull-like expression soften a bit. And he goes, she made you a saint, little one. And Ethan kind of, like, scratches, like, his chin really hard, and he's like, I don't understand how that's possible. And Calgranos goes, well, because it's not. And yet, she's done it. Never before happened. It's, humans, mortals are not capable of doing it. Yet here you are.
It's okay, we can figure it out. What matters is that you're alright. Well, alive. Really, but...
I suppose. I just... When does it stop hurting? And he looks up at Ethan and Caspian, and the two of them just kind of like make like a really soft noise.
Hello?
Are you back, girl boss? She's not.
No,
But-
she's muted.
Okay. But Asta kind of like sadly accepts that silence as his answer, and he just kind of sits back down in the main room of Calgranos' shop, and you can hear Calgranos go, I think that everyone should sit and take a moment. It's been a very hard day for everyone. All of you ugly little things in my store at once. I'm so lucky.
Can Percy like poke in his head for like Foxglove if he's back?
Am I back?
Yeah,
Hello?
you're
Yeah.
back.
Fucking cat. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what happened because I tried to send a message saying like my cat knocked my internet out, but
Has to
It
have
didn't
a
go
one
through.
banger sad lines, and I'm gonna cry.
It did.
so sorry I missed out on shit.
No,
Okay.
you're good. It was just Asta being upset about what happened.
Oh no.
Calgranos... Oh.
Percy.
Oh
Percy
no, go
was,
ahead. You were...
or-
What was Percy doing?
poking his head to see if Foxglove was there again.
Foxglove kind of crawls out of your bag, now well out of range of bad stones, and he kind of, like, looks around at all of you, and he looks at Percy, and he goes, man, the fuck happened to you?
It's just a very dry laugh, and he just kind of lets his head like, probably like up like sitting against the wall. He lets his head like kind of bonk back against the wall. He's like, "Fucking died. We all fucking died." So
Oh, that doesn't sound fun. And then he
No.
points a gross little insect finger at Asta, and he goes, what happened to that guy?
wait, hold on, wait. Is this the first time Asta's seeing Foxglove?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Asta's staring at Foxglove, and Foxglove is staring at Asta. And Asta's not reacting to Foxglove, but you can tell he's probably internally freaking out a little bit. It's fine.
We there's Percy has a fairy. Sorry, and
Why not?
but with all the
Why not a fairy? God,
Oh, yeah.
madness god. Fairy's just a blimp on the radar, I guess.
well, you know, sort of, yeah.
He's harmless, don't worry.
Well,
Harmless to us.
maybe, think maybe for now, I can't imagine being reborn is entirely pleasant, so.
Not really. I don't really even know how I don't have the words, I guess.
Well, I think for now maybe rest is probably the best option for you, so.
Kalgranos is in the back and is like, well, the thing about that is, you don't rest.
Oh.
Ever again. We can't sleep, and I'm assuming if what happened, which it did happen, this is not going to be fun. And he walks back into the back of his shop.
Okay, you can't sleep. That's wonderful. We can figure something else out.
Esther kind of nods, and with that, he seems to kind of just like slink back to the little like towel blanket nest that was set up for him in the back of Kalgranos' shop, and he just kind of like curls up there.
Mike is gonna follow and kind of nod at the others.
Delphine's gonna look at the remaining 3 in the room. It's like, so how do you feel?
How do we feel after dying?
Yeah.
You guys don't feel real great. Honestly, you probably rolled just enough to kind of get your corpses pieced back together and have a little bit of energy enough to function, but you guys are not in any kind of fit shape to be leaving this shop. You feel a little bit...
Are we gonna feel that tomorrow?
Yeah. A little bit nauseous. A lot of bit nauseous, actually. Your head hurts, your body's hurt, everything aches. So, really honestly, most of you probably shouldn't be standing right now. Wander and Pike, you two kind of get, like, pulled over by Caspian, who's kind of, like, made you guys, like, little, like, blanket nests of your own, and is kind of just sitting with you. Percy, Ethan has attempted to make you a blanket nest, and is attempting to get you to lay in it. Whether or not you cooperate properly is up in the air.
He's just kind of going with it, but is either like very distant. He's just kind of just going with it.
And he's like, why blanket nest when have big men to cling to?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Honestly, at this point, Cassian's probably on the ground letting them do that.
Wander's like, oh no, I have to use your boob as a pillow.
Oh, gee, I have to snuggle up to your titties. Oh,
Okay,
so sad.
I will I will let Pike have the pillow out of the goodness of my heart.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
You can
Pike,
have the blankets, Pike. I'm so generous. Anyway, Caspian, come here.
In the night, Wanda will probably wake up to find that, like, Pike has lain across Caspian's face like a cat.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Seriously, such like little sibling energy. It's fucking insane. I love it.
Oh yeah. Literally when they were fucking little, they would do that. And now he's just like, this is my life, this is fine.
And now they're actually training them out of this behavior, even though they're full size.
Yeah. He's like, my training attempts haven't worked.
Oh god. Also, I want to add with the first when he goes to like lay down, he just kind of keeps like an arm on like Ethan's like arm, like not arm, a hand on Ethan's arm.
No. Aiden just kind of like pops like makes like a little space like beside Percy, like Percy's like little bedroll, and he's just kind of like sitting against the wall and like letting him hold his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like rubbing like his thumb across the top of his hand a little bit.
He's just kind of just staring off it, still holding it.
At one point, Percy Foxglove has probably like brought your music box out and is kind of like wound it up so that it can play a bit. And it kind of just fills the whole bit of that store with a very soft music.
He just listens to it until he clonks out.
And with that, is there anything that anyone wants to do or say before we end the session?
Yeah, Delphina's gonna pull Ethan aside. It's like, where are we? Where are we? And she doesn't necessarily have to pull him like away from Percy, but like just kind of like to get his attention, like to talk.
He's kind of got like Percy's hand in his lap, and he's like sitting there. And he's like, well, "Your guess is kind of as good as mine at this point." His shop is everywhere and nowhere at once.
Is the child safe?
Oh yeah, he's with Marin in the lighthouse.
Okay. Do you have any, like, I need to feed.
Oh my god. Aiden sits there and he kind of like glances around at all of your fatally fucking wounded friends.
All my friends are bleeding out.
Percy extends his arm out for Delphina.
She
Aiden kind
shakes
of like
her head. Is like, no, like,
I'm going.
you just died. I'm not going to.
Fucking take it. I will be fine. I'm not gonna die again. Just take it. You need someone to feed on. Just do it. I'm gonna clonk out anyway.
You were too close to death, having just died.
I will take care of him. Just take what you need. If you're trying to imply that you want mine, you're going to trip fucking balls.
Just take my blood. It's going to be fine.
I would rather permanently die
Just take
again than drink your blood, Ethan. And Percy,
Just take it.
I'm going to drink just a small amount.
Just do whatever you need to do.
Okay. Thank you. She's gonna...
Give a tired smile.
She'll take his hand out of Ethan's lap and drink from his wrist. Just barely enough to make her not feral insane.
Literally like a fucking starving raccoon over a dumpster drumstick.
Well, she would have been fine, but she just fucking died and, needs a little more help regenerating than everyone else.
OG Queen Girl Boss. Aiden snatches Percy's hand back from her.
She, leans back and is like, I was done. Thank you.
He's like, good. You better be. And he, does that thing where he, puts his hand over Percy's hand and puts it back in his lap. You can hear a very distant, "No canoodling in my store!"
I think it's late for that.
Never to. You're all freaks. I trust none of you.
You have 3 couples canoodling in this store right now.
I'm not exactly going to fuck the living daylights out of him when he...
You fucking better not! Absolutely not! No daylights of any kind are being fucked in my store!
Ethan, your family sucks. Thank you for having them help us.
You're welcome.
Delphina's gonna go and find a nice corner to just kind of sit and think about how she got to the point of her life where she's died fucking I don't even know how many times now.
Delphina, your Family Guy death posing in the corner.
No! She was just gonna sit, like, and lean against a shelf, not fucking
Like,
sit down and fucking break her body.
She's Peter Griffin sprawled in the
Wait,
corner
I
of the
have
shop.
I have an image for this.
Is this a Dermer one?
You're
It's
so
it's the
stupid.
Dermer one.
I'm picturing, like, her, like pensively, like, leaning against the wall, like, fuck my life. And then you're like...
She's she's crumpled in the corner like a bad Family Guy skit.
All of them are bad.
Percy, Ethan is just kind of sitting there watching you, watching as you sleep, just kind of holding your hand in his lap. Foxglove is eyeing him untrustworthily. Wander, Caspian is completely engulfing you with his large man boobs. Pike, you are sprawled across Caspian's face. Micah, you are laying with Asta, and he has his face in your boobs. Delphina, we've already established that your Family Guy death posing. I feel like it's a good place to leave off.
Ready?
Thank God. I need to go to bed.
Go to sleep.
I also need to go to bed, but Pumpkin, I'm expecting.
Hell yeah.
I need.
Good night, gamers.
You're expecting?
No. Don't
I
turn this-
am
don't flip
expecting.
this- No, don't flip this around on your fucking head.
No,
Too late.
I'm expecting.
No.
Wanders.
Let's get all the Asta stuff. You had the high
Let's see it. Oh yeah, you said you had.
I do. My iPad is dead, but I will charge it and I will send it to you in the morning.
OMG.
OMG.
I already I'm already okay, wait, hold up. Hold up.
Also, thank you for coming, stream. That'll be
Yes,
the end of
thank
the
you.
session.
Thank you for the dope session, Pumpkin.
Thank you for
That
the
was
dope
so
session. I'm gonna
fun.
scream
Thank
about it
you.